Nko. Alinata. I love y'all. Sundays, I'm fired up. Sundays, I'm fired up. Nko. Alnanang. Welcome to Binto Bantaba Community. Alnana Network. We are ready to roll. Nko. Muna aliyan korosil ba ngan necktie la bi. Aliyan korosil. Aliyan na necktie. Nko. Nin diplomato le sirinja. So fam fana ngan necktie. Alko nyadi. Inatale. Mbatu nga fali ibijenne. Secret lem ibijenne. Fali almalon ko inatale ba. Inatale. Ha. Nko nga sana fulol le soto ngambulo a surrender nga sana fulol le soto ngambulo a surrender. Nga ala wanang jali ala baraka ali jali la moy do manding. They are here. Yes. Thank you Sanneh. Thank you, Al-Nanang. Bring it on. Thank you. Allah baraka. Bring it on. Allah baraka. Nko. Allah baraka. Nga ala tentu. Inatale. Who is responsible? Ninko who is responsible for the failure of the 2016 coalition? Nko, fangana nekta chika wakamba. Yes. Jamala responsible. Itelem. Hani itelem Sanneh. Hani itelem Ibrahim. Hani tente. Nakewal. Yamina kenna. Al-Nana. Nga fali eloko. Witness all be comfort. Ntolo witness all. Ntolo Gambian all. We are the witnesses. Al-Nanang. Yes. Al-Nanang. Koli esa. Allah baraka. Menna brothers all sambalanang. Hello. Yes. Al-Nanang. Mahauja. Ibe mbulu janne. Ibe mara. Ibe mbulu ba. Ibe teva. Ibe janne. Ma worry. Ibe janne. Yes. Gambia diata ndamal mbakilim fakilim ngoliti wallahi thank you bimbi na kachal kachabe serious la mbelondo sotolato so mbelondo nyini la je mbelondo sotola na molbe la kato dangole kela aljunnang. I'm fired up. Go PDOIS in the building, UDP in the building, APRC on the way. They are coming there in the building. Bring it on. Yes, continue fight follow. Bring it on. I'm sweating. I love y'all. We are ready for business. We are now ready. Thank y'all. Sise, Jambe, Allah baraka. Love y'all. Al-Nanang ko. Tiyaseneh Mandinko le building auto. Tiyaseneh Mandinko le building auto. Nko, thank you. Allah baraka. Mr. Sanneh. So I have the board Sanneh. Salam alaikum. Ibrahim ibe mutrin yo mbe kontona mbal tentula mbal jayila Binto Bantaba Network ali muruntana ne bimu dimasolet dimasu wa dimasin kana janne kanyoso hakilo la jang nga momo sambana njamanka ko nge jole mejo ila londindungon sulata walla bi nyunu nga walla soto kunu nga dolle soto sama se keno itami benji be kambe tala soto la ntol Gambian dinda mal sa politiko mun tol talet ntol dindingol le tamun na bankoti nyanta ko dol kachalale. We learn from it because especially topico mimbuko bi coalition on be chodiro la nyoy itele coalition o tinya hani de karile coalition o tinya hani karile atinya bare sai lafta wala senende le saje sama kote nin tol lafta coalition o kal nga mine miss mine nyenta kala pour mi yen soto kunu akana soto kote wala nambe nyin kacha samba kanna nalbe Facebook albe follow la alien follow alien like nalbe YouTube give me a shout out alien subscribe je alien like so mbe luntangol sambala nam first of all mba start la Ibrahim Sanneh la UDP akate to Tiyaseneh Mandinko to barente wa fala bi Tiyaseneh Mansa fonte okay Sanneh nge welcome le yemol kontong platform mo italet
okay ala baraka bake Binto network molbe kal kontong ani la moy rabe dawda kontanta bi bake kan invite nim platform oto ninna broda
ikama wulindi nya domande
okay nka folen kontanta bake ngamira kam moyle sai invite la nim platform oto dami alon ko ninna broda Kexx from Doi ka karo to me alon ko yang kachanda wala besi tafo so la moy rabe benjibe kan kontante la bake mbafole Gambia be bakilim fakili wa le kake dro nyo saba ke no banda drombe killing motara dawda Gambia le tarle kun so insha kada okuto ngobulaje nga okano tarimbe sondo mokono so la moira la baraka mbijanne ka kacha mba telefon konton na melbe mo jibe kan alsim follow aliasia ngaje kachari mbe durabe kanila vit
bare yakulolo mutaje munanne ka fo ko Tiyaseneh Mandinko
ya ngobula fonyado alwa
ako ngobula fonyado okay so mbatu ngobula fonyado oto Kexx brother mbe konton nambe tentula mbe jayila PDOIS mbe welcome la nyim platform oto nene nge soto nun telephone oto le bare me soto nun video to bare ala tentu bi nge soto binto bantaba community network o nyin ka nyo karandole ke jan dimas ntol Gambian dindin damal fondinke damal bijang Gambia mun talent ntolom grassroots London town wala nanga nyim platform o create pour atol mini demande sotal sinali ala fan London dinka so you are welcome platform o muital
baraka bake Binto ngi konton pour ya invite na la platform o to bi kala kontane kubadi konka fo nyame rek banku kacale pour nga kacare nga jibe nasol kada mundo ma fanne pour soma kamala ni la faka ku sifake si karando nasol nyinto nga kara manke nyo tinyade manke nyo kaja filodi bar membi jere pour nga kara rek tinyaro kada mundo le anin sa dadano nyaade pour ficho kam dum mbade ma kontona men kada Ibrahim Sanneh mbe Fadia fana kontona mbe fana kontona de melan ko nyim platform create pour Gambia no si karang because ni mu karam moldi don jigira ko bi mbebe karana nyobulle be karana Ibrahim bul be karana Fadia bul be karana de fana bulu sen hakilol fay ni bare be baden kilen Gambia kilon la montel beta den do ngamram patiol be ngani kilon la so pour Gambia kendo la mebe tarna bulol ni wolle fatata de laftala kilo mena te laftala silo mena nen do laftala silo mena wolle fatata bar be ngani o mu nyina de pour nga Gambia kendo so do woro ngalon ko kacha nya be kala Gambia kacha dati inshallah on contenta pour kananyum platform.
Thank you Abaraka we are happy to have you brother Fadia you are mute.
Yes.
Brother Fadia nga nkoyello nka warm up kele nyumanke la first time ti ngando no follow on tarata first because kule ke nga sane fulo akay nga sane bala man fulo le bulanyo bi nga wala sambana nyola mbe ku ngota kindila nyola but anyway they are brothers we love them itolle lokita doro sila kote mbe bias la nga jata njayol sambana abeke jatati
Animane kunda nkol isaje kelo ya siabi.
Animane kunda. Okay, brother Fadia, you are welcome again. Binto Bantaba Community Network Auto. Comme yamo nyamen ka fo nyamen jang horomoni mbunya la bijang mbina kachala nto Gambian dingol da malle bina kachala amanka koy ka parti doron ne represent ni yaje ngete sambanang topical mbele dental.
That's true.
So you are welcome. Left any molly in your contong, Janim Bitala Kachanyant.
Yo, assalamu alaikum. Ngalbe kontong. Ibrahim Sanneh, anen Kexx, the intellect. Ngalbe kontong. Ani ite Binto, ite me yalonko ite le nyum platform o create. Ani mol men fanambe ye la time o bula pour kan tol la moy. Tumando on tol ko be men fo kan jamfan itol le yalon katam bin tol la. Bari ala le yake drone tol keta diamulati drone. Bari la moy lar wala hakilo fana yirwata. So nga nyola moy don comme ya fa nyame Gambia mu ben ntol bela Gambia and we are the youths who are going to be the leaders of tomorrow. So nintol man nyojeno with all our differences, then there is no way that Gambia say progress no. No ntol be man hame wala. So therefore we have to accept our differences. Kaje ko wole ben na Gambia sambala nyata because ntol kola fa na flako nko kola jellebeje red beje yo abanta. That is what make our flag. So therefore we have to represent the way dollar forefathers na mfama mama nyol mbari nyol ye Gambia mentun tolbulu and sa kata akana tinyan tolbulu. So kachabe tani nam wole tidro ngalbe konton Gibril Fadia.
Okay. Thank you. Nkontanta ngesoto. Mina nte time westlam please alinyin kachanyin saya abe important na bake ibe la londin dingo dila na ya la fantol ntol ma min soto ibe wala la falang Kexx brother Kexx mbala limbe kumande la Kexx la mbe nyindon kumande la sane la lafta kachanyin start la coalition of 2016 ntol Gambian ol dentangas coalition ok mini ya vote coalition o ma vote coalition o bi mbele denta coalition o ba o banko mbele tam so but na question o mint jama le coalition o nyintinya ani minati na ngamira ko jama wo mari le coalition o nyintinya Kexx nyun question follow bitale teleka
baraka bake Binto akuma ada purunga kacha coalition 2016 na
mbala Kexx mbala nali buke moy clearly alien text na immediately purun salon volume ni mambetea o abeteatal so immediately because mbala fi any glitch la okay Kexx mbala go ahead.
Okay, konka wala fo ka kuma ada bake pour Gambia no nga karan nga muru bake ni coalition 2016 na kamoja mal moy ka fo mo le ko coalition on tambita le mo le nyina ko nyina ngamira nyatola Kwaninga jibe Gambia membe nyado bitilo la soko wado mena hamomo pour ka draft constitution o londe draft constitution o nyene fo nonko 51 plus sodo pour yeke president ni banko kan do no be kala ko daga fonse coalition do form do hansa Gambia no go constitution o normal pour ay nana so nen ko membe o nyama wodo salon ko coalition do be soto la nyato le so no be soto la nyato tubabol ka fo me ko you must read you must ponko e kamen fo be la pass ni fo sa karam ni akaran den ya mistake ko kedam to yo rectify pour so me kana bolo mistake kilon kon so wata kumaya da baga pour ngani coalition 2016 mena kala fa filter lafta men na masoro ndefe ya man fil fam bot lafta men na je on hamome wulindara mo be so je balansi ala tendo bayre kay for 22 years ni coalition latina wo mansa kundani nga boyda mo jamal bije manson aw mansa kundala we can have a disagreement but Gambia no dol fanal bije melan ko sonto mansa kundala ko is the best mansa kundala which is debatable and sa debate no bare anyina tinna biti lol alhamdulillah fo mboto koleal kono nga koleal men takino 22 years so do kamala wo mu success la mi anon ko Gambia no nyanta ko acknowledge bare akuma da fana purunga kacha men hamul me adna ngalo because coalition o mallo rek danko don just coalition o tere kaya jambe bondire ka baro sende nanje that was never the target of the coalition wo manken hamoti no purka mansa do bondije ka mansa do sende je hamom mune dino purka Gambia londa simfulo ka ko me transitional agenda pour tamandir nyal membe kero tamandir nyal ngol si falinga tamandir kendol sodo so no be kala kullati nan sita purunga coalition o kafu nyoma manke ko patile wala because tel be latale ko political party wol membe bija yaaja mena time party kilinti je men si yaaja me bondinoje ngoro sa fonsina nga kafu nyoma nga ke kilinti nga nyina na party wol la nga party wol muda ngol fay bal banta kasanje sabadama nga Gambia je nga coalition o je nga Gambia bondi abe kolea men kona ning 52 years nga failure men so do pour ka Gambia ke banko de mialon kon si mbesi content no lan tol Gambia dingol nga fako nyinen banko de mialon ko we are proud of Gambian and si lono any platform nga fo we are from the Gambian den ko jimila o kamala na da pero laje ko alga nyina na patiola nimbe nyina la na patiola fo sanji sabo kono mbe kafu nyoma nga coalition agenda nyin samba kudantal ko daje janne bida convention la mela ko senata set o kaytol sante ka fo le coalition la agreement no because Gambia jang akaka kuti me ko aka filimol ma manifesto and coalition agreement mol ke jakati ka fo ko agreement o man sign inata convention o so ni ma agreement o sign but there was an agreement me ko yo landile ka entandi ko pour be sonna nyina pour ka convention o sign patiol bele o kayto nyin signé be sontala kuna ne bije me ko koyta fera senata wala nyindi ko al nga kafu nyoma nga coalition o form banembe coalition o form la patiol mo be lola be risanle la patio to le be jile la patio to le tetare la patio to ba remina coalition o to yalla that mean God the person must resign from his political party pour ay ke coalition la candidate o don patiol be son taw kayto signer ko na mare tombo ndafana mare nyanda kaga mole mi alan ko be sanji sabada malaka la je transitional agenda pour ay transitional leader ko sanji sabona banta kate fay memmina o mare to lola ko take go carte fawla because in lafta mina la faka incumbency le bank Gambia jam because ngaja ko incumbency from Jawara 30 years of ruling ya jam 22 years of ruling and kajala ko incumbency reflect on the turnout of the election ko sa pour ka incumbency bonde je sa Gambia no le kara ya lo munan nan be carte o fayla ani munan nan ka carte o fay ba ne incumbency bi je the influence of the incumbency katina it determines the votes of the Gambian people so ko men lo da coalition la candidate o mari to lo la ko ka hase presidential candidate ko fana ko parti be mo taworo wala na la ne ka fo me 70 delegates pour ngata conventional ñun ko be d'accord ta mo be on talanta conventional ala na da ke Adama Barrow tambida akeda nyaato bari jane Adama Barrow be tambila coalition la agreement ko ne kayto dole sa fe ka fo me memorandum of understanding e ka fa MOU dol ka fa MOU wo MOU ye mine fo wolen ko masakunda ñi ngabe tamala nyaade o transitional period o ñebe masakunda sambala ñaan yo kaydo mu da ya be safe but all suti ada nyokam because ni mira October 6 October convention okeda November December tara election la so all suti ada nyokam coalition mo dol fanal bi mela lonko ala manta be wole wolta dunta mantoro kono be kasol kono so nada ko bayde be da ko tan kaydo because ya jibele kaydo be kisikisi ya be korosi be sonta ko di manifesto mo kaydi kende balde mela lonko wala si Gambia sambano de transition kono be da ko tal ko bot sa nga nyaati len campagne wala say angata nga campagne nyonyi ke den na no batala mojol melan ko be kasole bebe bennan sina si ko nga nyi review bayde be sontal sa patiol be sontal sina nga signé ni nga signé wala be kala na working document ka fo me ko working document man sakunda be tamala nyaadi le minister place be kala nyaadi le mbe nyo tombon na nyaadi le place be dila nyaadi le transition be kala nyaadi le na headquarters be lola nya wol be be o kayto kono je very good documents all transitional agenda TRRC be lola nya constitutional review commission nyol be establish nya wol be je security reform constitutional reform bije o manifesto safeta coalition o tata nga campagne o ke mbe ska futa nyokan mbe patiol fay ko majam be na patiol la tisatol wala den ko ngol fay mbe coalition la den ko muta ngol nga kafu nyokan nga coalition nga Gambia bonde ala nata mako no ngani yakendo la nata nganyandi winter kada coalition nata yaaja me bondi je kababo daje ndunta impasse kono mo be nyina tala patio mbe ka futa nyoka nga impasse ko kelenga ko be kele fo alhamdulillah mfindita impasse kono baro kalendita anara sa ka president nko sal nga si nga kayto me an kon d'accord tala wala be transition o sambala nyaato pour nga si ngo kacha nga kisiksi nga jibe esaje an sitano nyaato patiol soto daje mele alon ko manifesto ni o coalition agreement ni ka fo me MOU e ko MOU kayto ni amam bete ya because so kayto ni wo be sembo busi la president bolle ka fo me ko president be kala toothless president la me alon ko ate kindiro kenola so neo bude be sembo be busi la bulle sembo men be ba bulu ibo be tala bulle ko aba kala be murra coalition ole ya coalition ole be silo di la na la feka fa ke o kam ndalo mari manke mansadu bari moye muru ko ma yajibe fontel la falendiro nyim pour ka mo ke manse because wala mon nakelote non kon la feka mine bonde jang e ka fo me executive power la feka wala bonde nyim banko kam for the transitional period on ka make sure that executive power akata mo bulu pour e bayira ko Gambian people will decide the manner and the way they will be governed ñina mun na ngani on na hamoti no so wakamala kono bari transitional is not a normal government but a transitional government lu ngalo ne ko akuja malle bije melalon ko nga ferol fay melalon ko mantan na luwa kono bar nga ferol fay fero dum kende may ka fo me good practice it is recognized internationally anywhere good practice is accepted everywhere in the world so when people ka fo ko mantan luwa kono but when it is a good practice it is accepted all over the world so wo mu kula di melalon ko good practice but time fonde la constitution ko ko janne mo be kala president ina ta resign from your party la ba o mo ke bar ngalon ko wala fero di men si yaaje me bondi no jam pati on be son tala Adama Barrow wala Halifa Sallah wala Dembo Bolondin Boja wala Ahmad Ba wala Essa Touré be bote la parti le Lord has an independent person on the coalition ticket pour ka lo ko mantra na loi bu ko kon ma ko dula do fana ko patiol be nyanta ka sapi nyoka na mantra dula do bari ngo ferol be keje nata ferol la fa fana ko minan nan ko la faka nyim bonde je ka fo men incumbency ko ngaje ko president na meda sirim baake nyim banko kanya because jawra 30 years ki ya 22 years ki je ko na meda sirim baake ka fo men akana the tendency of dictatorship le kana develop je so pour ko bonde je sa mbe fero mutala nga lande je mi ko president membe bola membe sela yaaja menoro bayantan la konte am not power hungry man na kelo man ke nyindi pour kana ka si pour ka fanke man sa de bantana dal pour ka foundation la Gambia pour Gambia good start sort of for 52 years mamme no so president be kala moldi membe mandula aba lon nako ntemo molati me alon ko manna pour place ni no madna molati ko nyil be lafta kanun ka president ko ni be abulete be de support ko kayanta ni nako agenda la soro lafta ka menge wo president ni o bala tamo talala kayanta ni ko constitution on so sanji lulula but there is a provision in the constitution me alon ko section 65 of the constitution ko the president can resign anytime after he has been sworn as the president of the Republic of the Gambia. So based on that provision, coalition agreement or landije kind the president will serve for 3 years. But at Natana would on a party leader moy a baby in records kind and go nim president kabe jila wala tabe coalition members or sambala called lua nyati de wala. Kayantandi la ko 3 years only one loi mantanyola president kana so wala bala symbole busika bula legal right lenyi de mo kana so wala bari tela parti yo kono je mol soto melan gol be siri wo bengoto je melan gol le sidi tela parti yo to yala je wol sonta wala wato ete mantara je so ni tana tana ete wala badega ka muntele ko ete ka meyantande wala nyende ko parti yo muntele tadi nte men fo je wala be kala nte man men fo de sotola. That is a tendency of dictatorship in a political party because as far as nete tijere model bi jere wala decision on behalf of the entire party ite nyanda ka make sure you go abide by that agreement or wala menke. But the moment it ko agreement on menke it is wrong definitely then it ka muntele ko you are showing a tendency of a dictatorship. Waboda je nada nan ko daga MOU safe that is the memorandum of understanding. Ito ko memorandum of understanding ning we president ni ngala sembo be busa bule bantel mamman sa sinde pour ka fo ko be symbol de la to use the might of the president. Tel ko lafta transition la pour ko symbol me an ko yaaje menen jawra nanake use no kamol oppress lafta ko le bonde ni banko kanja. Ngana nga constitution kuto dada me an ko it will speak the language of the Gambian people. Abekala ko Gambian o lafta men. Ni ne ko da kuti me la ko so problem o start wala to molka foko National Assembly election among start woro before mina National Assembly election what memorandum of understanding came before the national coalition members will pray.
Okay. Sanneh.
Yeah.
Okay. Sanneh Kexx fella I manta mbe nyun question of yo hold on. Okay. Anata. Okay. Sanneh Kexx, welcome back.
Okay, sorry that the network was abuga beta abaga katala kana. So memorandum of understanding na yalande di mol be nyato. And in records abiji inare sita ko le ko sal ngani kayto sign. Political leader soto daje menka munta ko United Democratic Party la leader kaya nandi ko ate o kayto ni nata benu Gambia nata benu bijanno ni kayto be safika te sonna nyande because ni kayto president wala symbole busa abu wo kamala jate data ko o meeting woni to fa kada modi mi ko match out from the meeting na saida because maybe nying amany kayto nying faham
wala mo honorable Dabot
ha e ko nying kayto ni maybe ama faham bara nga bula sa nga kayto di ala fa ngota asi aya kara maybe nga tilifula tilisaba di ala sina meeting commande ko daga kachanya memorandum of understanding na ko nying maybe aba faham la maybe at man time also don't to go through it be pare wala mol ma explain na wo kada je tilifula tilisaba meeting commande benta kayra ba ko daga ate man nawo meeting dula do fam honorable may fati kada modi mi alan ko ay moto mala wulta ko mbadu ngata no masuwo ko nente taraje maybe nen diam tan kafu nyoma kendela abem moyla woni modol wulta kay taraje ya taraje akwala load labe dam to hansala load labe wolto wala nyinde ko kayto nyata data wala kuodo o memorandum wala understand nya data wala kuodo diamo start disagreement o start janne mon basol nataje ko ntel ngeen kaydi kendo men ngay ngani yo kendo men so bar say la feka president ke mole ka ko is no more under a coalition ticket but it is under a party ticket. non coalition amanta IEC kabe Adama Barrow tata IEC the first paragraph of the manifesto has the presidential, because there are two manifestos. The coalition manifesto is there, the presidential manifesto is there. If you read the first paragraph of the coalition manifesto, I, Adama Barrow, hereby offer myself as a presidential candidate for coalition 2016, supported by 8 political parties. And I'm here to serve a transitional period of 3 years, which I will make sure that I have constitutional reform, institutional reform, and resign, and conduct a fair and free election. This is what Adama Barrow meant tender to the IEC, which is a legal binding document at IEC. So Adama Barrow, it is Gambian people who fail to challenge Adama Barrow. But if you have challenged Adama Barrow would not have gone beyond 3 years, because that is the agreement between Adama Barrow and the Gambian people. That's what he tendered at the IEC. He's a transitional president and he'll serve for 3 years. So any political leader meant that against that document has failed the Gambian people and has given the power of Adama Barrow, has given Adama Barrow all what it needs for Adama Barrow to entrench himself against the will of the Gambian people. Because Mole is Sembore, Mole I entender baglal, and I have the legal bag in me, and I can go up to the Supreme Court to challenge anybody in Menko, you have to resign 3 years. It is unconstitutional. So this is where the failure starts. But we're moving forward. But in political parties, so for the transitional period. For the 3 years, let nobody talks about your political party. For 3 years, at least, let's all sacrifice our party for the interest of this Gambia. 3 years so be on Canadian party. National Assembly election has independent like Adama Barrow Benjamin. Essentially, we will all be in one agenda. Let's forget about parties. Let's go to the National Assembly and be minakela through that one. Well, and go all political parties bring whoever you want to be your candidate for the National Assembly. We will conduct a primary between those candidates, Nico like Serekunda West constituency. Because UDP are a candidate on a PPP, then there will be a primary between those people. Whoever is elected among those candidates, so they came from various political parties, then those parties has a coalition candidate. Wobekela has a coalition candidate, not has a party candidate, to be the National Assembly member for the coalition 2016. So what our sole responsibility at the National Assembly is to make sure that the coalition agendas are put forward and the party will support it. So Mongo Kakweko, if you happen to be an independent candidate, then that means that you will be controlled by Adama Barrow. Doesn't understand the context that the coalition only put forward to make sure that to have an independent candidate. That person's sole responsibility is to make sure that that manifesto, that coalition agenda, will constitutional reform, institutional reform, all those reforms, to make sure that remove all the draconian laws, the constitution, to give back the power to the Gambian people, agenda in the National Assembly. So that person would not be controlled by Adama Barrow. He doesn't understand what was the plan. Because Biden, that is the coalition and the agenda of the coalition. And that would have been the best to put the Gambia in the transition. Some people will not have these differences in the National Assembly, whereby you will have cross-carpeting of people from one political party to another. Because Biden, we all have one objective here. And the only opposition in that National Assembly will be APRC. All of us will be what we call incumbency National Assembly. Will be there all will be incumbent. We will be the incumbency in the National Assembly. Incumbency better than Telebut. We will all have one goal or objective. But party will not independent. That will kill their political parties because they cannot stand not talking on their political platform for 3 years. That will kill their political party. But they fail to understand that there are political parties that stand.
Okay. Mr. Sanneh.
Yeah,
so mbe ate bulala stop wadula lafte la opinion o moylale nga Kexx la kacha moyle sa lafte tele sambalana ite amira jamale responsible ta na coalition 2016 la failure la andu iba ya dalilo fonye mina atine ya amira o mari le atina failed bismillah. Okay, Saisa Diamana no Yeman Taleno.
Oh, Yeman Tano. Gibril, welcome to the program. Bismillah, you are my uncle. Marina Muitali.
So, Kexx, hold on, yeah.
Kexx, thank you so much, Binto. Abaraka Bake. be kuma kan me nyini ka biko coalition o ning ay hamme jamale soto baro hammol nikumugol manana futano so birin wali o keda do ba fayla do fayla do ka barinde coalition o janjan de buka padi bilem coalition o janjana coalition o la sarto patiol hanatar wol janjanda coalition o bala nyaton ko me hamuta pour ka coalition o la sarto wol futanna de nyanda ta futanna so nde men jije wala min ndela opinion men wala min ndiko coalition o ni hammo men nada birin kanyo keda e kamole
ha ikam wulindi do mande ha kemo
wato menna barota da to menna mo be alon ko san coalition o kanyeta do ila hammo keda men di wala mo ni kanyeta e fero do landi mel yalon ko dol ko yo signale dol ko fana e ma signa so wali nada na je bar coalition o fam na janjang sunda political party be lam party kilinde blame la wala
okay
because ni aji be coalition o nin sartol mel nada birin kanyo keda banda wato mena dron mol ka bo kartan dana be kete fansum fero samba bara bera tinya fam tunda menna wolo nyaadon gol because men loda e sarto fo mole ka fo bentani la coalition o kambenta menna ni mo ka fo ya dum barole da ka fo banko mole adele fana yaita banko be ka fo na hammo mulledi adu ni ala ke nga so don be ni lekela so ni patiol ndedaje ni patiol wali odun dol damante ma pour ka nyomoy ate men be nyaato ade yante nat lare pour ye nyomoy kaaje kon na hammo mun le dadu lende tambinde nyaato pour kaaje o hammo e futa banade fanam balanta wala ate fanam kuma buka bada kono ka fo ko betula jele so coalition la failio be ni abe mini mendi hanne patil bile mu ba be la president ko because ate le keda kafoni bela ni alkali be kafoni nambani imam be kafoni nat lon kafoni na nyaaton kote okay molbe da men foga ka fo ko tombondirol Kenya dibide fenke tombon to yani politico te bayla mbe koku kono politico te bayla yani coalition o fana hammo jibe akende ma ke da menti coalition o min da Gambia coalition o nyongne ne man lot la dunia kono nte melje because coalition o kana nyame wala munabina la pati ndiun le kana ye la pati ba kan yeta bari tel ko de kela sai membe kala do wala mun ndi ko be join la pati ba ko mbot la ko mal bar mol son do be la ko be du ko ma pour mbe si kafu no nyani be si keno si kambe no ani be alo be larin tablo ka kafu warta nyotile bari mbe akadale ka kafu nyoma nin kamma nin kafu da nyoma nsembo menti nin sembe jama kafu dan so keno so biri wo keda mol na da wol keda ma kan warta ala yakela nyini una da ke mol kafu no da nyoma biri mol kafu da nyoma nga tombon ro ke baro la infa seniata wotole ko ni membe lola patiol be nyaato iberi sain la lebo la kafo kono so ibe kala coalition o dionti me alon koy mambo pati to sai patio be le kanyante do so nga banko ya wo nyaale nga na hammi ko fo banko mole ala ke banko mole la moy so ni fale ndro ke na tare ndele ke banko la presidenti ni coalition o la tinyala ndebe coalition o kafo no la nyomal mba fo le wote kala because na ngenda birin sai ale ende men tambini nde maralo ke la kafo jumale tola ba ndel na coalition o janjanda so nde men jije coalition o kon la janjande bu ka padi klim bilen wala ni ko UDP dol ko APRC PDOIS dol ko GMC coalition partner be ibele banko fel bar men fam banko be fel wolon president fam because mole jiko so date to adu telefona fo hammo mendi atele afo nale banko dina be men kila adum fanan laftale nganto kendo tunin banko kan sa no coalition o jugu jako nata wulu nde amira tele nyanda wulla e coalition o ninta ka stinde adura nyaawo nyandi nate lafta si keno kilin adura nyaawo nyandi coalition o hammo men duwata bulu nate lafta bo futandi no la barade manna o kiade nata na nyaalo symbole kam mbetata symbole be in fa coalition o fam bitano nyaadil ide sida symbole ta mamme de katari fanna symbole foka so ndefe coalition o ko ndema padi kilim bile mola nde president ne fam bile me alon ko mobe jiko soda teto banko be atele tambinde ka foko mol hammo mo mendi sai ni ko mo ngabe do atele bul atele nyanda mol hammo manla to ndiaje ko ndare tono to nyaada ndi atele blem wala wodo ma ko nante jampala bi
so ete president barole blem wala
ya ni pati wala wala ni ko ta jajam bana pati wala wali o nada nyame mbo fo no dal bar ko mi pale tono fam na tinya nde president blem wala
okay mbe muruna Kexx ya Kexx mbe nyinin kala bawetela connection ole tinyata kuntuta non so for the record nga ye kacha burin jama ke jam bare lafte soto la for the record janim bita Fadia ite amere jamale fongo e coalition o tinya
Yeah, akuma bada ko Ibrahim ya fo nyame nte baro bondi la je but yalon ko ku ka sababu le soto and adama baro kaban coalition ya ta coalition ticket wala but adama baro ma UDP deni ko wura hane ka bakara ko
okay so aliyem balal Kexx la side Gambia le nga ala fa ngotentu le faka diamuno for 10 minutes I tie manga Gambia la wala nambe sirinja, so we will make a difference. We are so grateful for our connection of officiat. Okay, Kexx continue.
Okay, ko nga fo nyame rek adama baro abota na UDP le wo unyanta ka koy Gambianol be mal ka abota na UDP le and kabin adama baro nata nam fana kada molet me alon ko adama baro ma UDP deni ko wura UDP deni ko balal because abe believe ring ni adama baro fane mindset men sotala fonko do wala nyinti ko atabe UDP le ndung kachal kono aliyamo e molla ko adama baro ko kabata da America ning UDP members will see da jay ne fo ko natara mo ka man saya muta no ni eleki ka man saya muta ka di mola no tombe be man saya muta ngasi ka ngadi loya dabon donc atene loya dabo da mamman coalition o make woto ka entandi la hansa nyimbe UDP le so another fana lo da aya entandi ko ala political godfather mo wallet do keda modu me alon ko aka yamare so wonata yamare ko la mel yalon ko ni la moy akeda kule de menon kan coalition d'accord ta menna wol manta silola number 1 disagreement about the MOU memorandum of understanding in my takelaya ni bodana woro fana yana nan fana the fonko nyina in terms of 3 years nyin agreement on in my takelaya so kumembe laru wo nyamaje ani adama baro keda modi me alon ko adafana bitilo la fana keda modi me alon ko ka fo menna like fo sayo malam man talalare ne bam fo liko e sa talalare ne bam fo mu do mandiga kan dole rek ko me alon ko abe diarin adama baro fana ay mo so do say me alon ko aba bakan aje kontene ni na boda blackli fana ko do anga sembo so don si fidi la so don afana ye fidi asonta wala kula man na mira ka jantandi ko nte me ente sindi jang o manke mo kilenti ni mo sele kafuda nyoma mela nan ko be kafuda nyoka ni bela na fulo le kije pour kante tambinde jang coalition o fere kendele so coalition o tada for UNDP was ready because coalition should have a secretarial me alon ka be kelela office. They will not even utilize the state resources pour make sure that the coalition agenda nyngaike. They will have their own headquarters me alon ko e be wala lola me alon ko all their meetings hold be kala world everything with their own vehicles so le talata after kabe disagree to the National Assembly election ola Ibaye party moto fulasro all those things where coalition vehicle melanko be utilized to make sure that the transitional agenda nyem priorita ko kodol mentala de ka fo adam baro ka fo mena ko national député ol mutange sponsor adam baro de sponsor and coalition la fonso le mel gada nyoka wala kabiri man disagree rek kodol muta yetala so coalition has a well structured plan for the transitional period but adam baro nata abulata yamarol noma because I believe ko wol bata samba kan silola imagine wala na at later on this agreement on that because anambaro kamita ya defana sembentu ya yantandala kontel si back no la adefana ko okay ni sim back no badon sa nga place ol be dira ita sula la place la nga dira ndefana be la mansa
okay
no Binto
it is a diam Fadia hold on okay Ibrahim ite go Fadia ite mu kebal ite mu suntu ko ite si follow
Kexx kada men for coming biring
Kexx hold on sani yamanda ni na debe hold on now for a minute
sorry ako biring America en le foka foko na tari man siati dino ate be wulla la palaso ni ndi usenla baro yo fole hanato sin campagne ko no bari wodo man kuma bi ko baro ngajele bi kumol le be foka na opposition nyaton kado sindi ay do fo ni do wulta dry ko modo fo so kuma fason nganyino da because nyantalo na sai baro ko mel fo ka fo mun dalil because ye nyaton ko do sindi do fo e ko ni do ka jada ko ni sai be mu le foka nyaton ko wala mo bebe so bindi kanyola de so wodo ma fa hanim baro ta ray ho fo at keno fa baro go fo ka ko mo man sodo biko baro na kadar ko mo mel foga o do funda ko baro kondele kon do ko baro kondele kon akontele ten so ata no maybe ata ko mo mate be ni la ko mo fudan de kanyoma ata ko mo man so na da America maybe ay o fo je ka fo kwa na ta ren si wol no ngan na sira ngadi dol ay o fo America ja skeno fo abo ko mo men foka aba fola dole fo na biko na baro wa baro la ko mbiaro na ni ndo fo jang abe ni ndo la fo la ja so wodo ma fa na ngani no do ma fa na biko ka fo ko molle baro suku fana ka fa ko be support la le mbe fengela le non mo man baro su baro fanga ne yaaje ko im fa yal nin coalition o fanga wali o fanga warta da min fam birin ko men ko mole na nga position ol ta biri ko nga position ol ta dole fanje sorry nane do ko
it's okay ke mo le ko voice ni important
okay dole ba fo kan okay me ka na ka jafan okay biri ko wato men ka palace ol ta ko palace ta wali ona na tele so ngajele sidia fan video ni watin sidia men fundina ko baro kaele ko usenu kadura nyaw nyan sake foreign minister o ko la video do na da fundi video me ayta ni baro ba fo ka de usen tombo nyadil so wo kumo kulo sa ide ba fo no la sidia le to nya fo ba fo baro le to nya because sidia ko baro le afai wo ko la na da kumo do moy baro la ko so tombo ndri nya ko ndamira ko do ma fa nanga nyina wala nga ko do jibe mem fengela because barole mu na sidi asinda même folo na hari sinda même folo na useni sinda même folo na mai sinda même folo ni doro buka ke kilindi ba ka taddum ke te male ke janjane kurade si mol soro nyame so because sidi ako baroka ele ko dabo ko adura nyaw nyanga ke foreign minister so watu baro yo fo ni baro yo fo sidi ayo la pistonol betaka afana nyenda mu lefkela wala mun ndiko afana nyenda ko no mala la manya mutala ko na si ay tenku fosa en be foda tembo men do ka fundi ko o ku fasa mun ko so baro ka ko barole ko ninji usenu keno si ando ngaki je hanna ay o fala campagne ko no bari ngani baro men be fo campagne ko no ko nyanda sinaja baro men be fo campagne ko kilinti je ade fam barata menna so ala o sen dir kuma kenzol ma kada lora be fo lande amira o dol ni UDP man nyoma fena because to nyabo da UDP le bari wol yasin ni hamo menka o hamo mantaro tamandika wala kada UDP sabada ya challenge adum baro bimbe adi hanna ko da UDP le be nyaato pour ka challenge ala silol la man tar mel ke kun kan kay dan dala ko mbalanda men kunu wote kala ja
okay
so nga so bodle ko nga hammo men solo biri aja man daro sabara ko da man sakunda ko andi ba challenge kanne
okay sane be nyinin kala kuma kilenna Janis honorable Sidia be fintilana nga honorable Halifa Sala moyle nga honorable OJ moyle nga honorable Dembo by force moyle ibe nye alifal woni molu min be Gambia kono wol mankilin tabe alfa dan tan example wala ta mo be chodiro ke ko lawyer double coalition otinya ite Minnesota
mbe mem pole woto woku moy bo moy dale betulo moy la momo funday bol han sidi ala nin kumo do ma jaayol because ne sidi ajibe ate kam mel fo UDP kono ka fo mel nyanto ko jibe la dembo bay Facebook ma be UDP la kayda kuto UDP la kuto im fak ni dembo bay fo fankada la bari sa la UDP iberi sa UDP ko executive member ibida mo ni parti do moy kata o fo kon la bari sa la UDP kono amunda dembo bay fo wol ni da wala dembo bay fo di be UDP kono sulu saji yalla bi ko natel mi be kafkili ni laftam fo nyola al be nyaati no lombal sin lamba fo la le ko ndi lafta kam fo nyonna para so dol barta ni de ka ko kara dola ka fo le kon de lafta kam fo be mane ni la kanay fo nyo sa ide be mulelo ka fo kono
mona ne o fo honorable Sidia la okumo ba ka fo ko aya fo le nung fo honorable Halifa Sala ya mane ne fo lemba
ka mane na kanay fo nyo ha
okay
no so, ya manke o nyama yalo mo nyanto ka sorry la
so yalo mbe kuma kilim fo le Binto membi je wol bo by force wol bo le fo la man Sidia kumo niaje meli yalo ko dabo imandabo dabo la kendo enene bukafo banko kan yalo linko banko edia ngafo le handi no ni wali obe Gambia banko kan bake molle akata jati tele na bi tal na day ko to jayla no banko ka wali ole katu banko ka yade Sidia ka mel fo taman zero fanti de bo bay fo si bijan penke bijan wol do bol mo be yalo lo da dawda wala problème mo usel lede so wol de kuma fo la mentionera andu UDP ni dan in 2016 la mel ni kana kala tablo kan mo fula ati tabodon kadi amosek amol fulofo akam men folom dembo bay force so dembo bay force wol don la ko oje wol moko don biaje wala problème mo usen dabo da man kebide so odo ko ni hannal man sika wala
okay Kexx malon fo ngani nyinin karo min ke mobe chodiro ke ka fo ko honorable dabo le coalition otinya nga ye brother Sanneh moyla ay jinkandiro ite Minnesota
kon ka fo ko abe sababu wala sodola ka fo le ko dabo be blame la for the failure of the coalition but Adama Barrow fana de tuno la koma because ate julo ba tele bulo kono tele sa no ya fo ko yen nan fonye ndeta keno because tene ni molta korta nyine lan tene nyile nyele fon dum benna foro ya kantalal bar ko nga ko nyaada Adama Barrow ma UDP deni ko wura UDP deni ko bala no da fana believe ta kon tene nyile boda sukili wodo nyin kam men fo nyine bente so ay dol be muda ko yalan ni konteni de boda sukili rek bantan ko kana ka mbe juma la ko momuda dina ka tambal so wala kada ko mi alon ka beje but nimba fola mbe blame fu fasi solo there must be an we must hold somebody accountable. I don't for Gambian, we have to be honest to ourselves when it comes to the issue. I have high regards for Lawyer Dabo and anywhere I have regard. And people have to understand, but we must speak the hard facts no matter how it is. There is something that leads to the failure of the coalition, and we must address that if we want to save the future of this country. For we must be honest, let us remove the emotion, let us remove parties and discuss national issues with consent, with the interest of the nation. If this was Halifa Saleh, I would be the first person to condone Halifa. I said that Halifa has failed the Gambian people.
No, okay.
That's who I am. Yes. And irrespective of whoever it is. And we have to be honest enough. We had Dabo on records. And that the same Dabo Menko Moleko 3 years, ni Adam Barrow, ni Momo Adam Barrow challenge to resign for the 3 years. Abe Sula Court, they had a press conference in Karabakh and Adam Barrow must respect the 3 years. But the same person defended that Adam Barrow must go for 5 years. And the same person come back again when he's outside the government to say Adam Barrow must respect the 3 years. And that was not, he was speaking on based on his own capacity as lawyer Usainu Dabo, but not as the party. But when lawyer Dabo was speaking, it was in Manjai's bureau. And any statement that you utter in a political bureau becomes a political statement. It cannot be a personal statement. If you want a personal statement, you go to your house and say your personal statement. But as far as you are in a political bureau, any statement you say there becomes a political statement. And Dabo said that statement in UDP political bureau. It becomes UDP position that anybody who forced Adam Barrow to resign, in front of my party, Ahmad Ba, and everybody, it is a political statement. That was their position. When they removed from the government, they said that it must respect the coalition agreement. So, that's where the failure starts. And for the coalition memorandum of understanding to go against it was the biggest disappointment.
No, Binto.
Go ahead.
Kexx lafta da men fola ndeson Nigeria because Kexx lafta men fola sa munda ko Usain le barakata coalition men party nyato ngor beti. Because mo kile umbinano adile yata ka foda data yati nyamati nya ko mate blifta men nate ka wolla tabuloka itel blifta men kala tabuloka so membe nyato men diata ka woke amantingo Usain man coalition ofendi nya Usain blifta men nate ka wole fo alata men na ka wole fo ani beni men fo ka fo ko Usain ko ni me baro challenge loyal jondi ya nyinin kala kuma kan fura jiase loya barama be diam on behalf of the party so nata le funda Padilla statement le funta no me along go you spoke Padilla spoke man la fundinde what mo is have to me no because bebo party okono but ni da woda ma media mo nyinin ka ro fura daje ya nyinin ka ayata fo as a constitutional lawyer ba nyanda ta fo la so nde men jije wodo ma fa na ko ne ndede so na wala in fact broda kes ka dame ko ka fo ko because ila birem lo be da ka dabol ka so be son nani nako dabol barka da ko ala so no beti because dabo kirinde ko ti nyan wala ko
Okay, I just want to interject here, Ibrahim Karola, Dabo is because people have this belief that the 3 years agreement is against the constitution, and people need a reference because Dabo was a constitutional lawyer. That's why he will not. Whoever tells you that shows you that the person is very ignorant about the very laws that govern this country. The 3 years agreement is not against the 1997 constitution. And I challenge anybody who believes that you understand the constitution to challenge me any platform. And I'm ready to tell you that the 3 years was never against the constitution of this country. Because the section 65 of the constitution is very clear that a president can resign anytime after resuming office. Anytime. It can be 1 year, it can be 5 months, it can be 2 days, it can be 1 day. So there's no provision in that place that violates the constitution. So you cannot say that because somebody is a constitutional lawyer, that's why he challenged that because it is unconstitutional. There's nothing that is unconstitutional there.
No, yalong Usainu nyinin ka role ko da ka nyinin ka ni atebe da maka fo ko me aka Usainu ko ni me baro challenge. In fact wo senedale abara mi opinion le foka famara el soro ko fo bangoka.
yamira confusion of course walto because honorable Dabo nate fengo fenfo ha political leader lam anda common call soto bakel ngol ka believe ala andu nde munal mamira bira o fa amam baro ferende bam because barma constitution law bare ibatu Ibrahim hold on that Gibril mbete nyinin kala o side la ba
membije
okay Gibril hold on
useni ya talefo ala londo be damen ana believe ta men na yole fo bara ma fo mo ke force ama mo force ka ko le nyanda kala so ni kwale sono ko usen lo kala problème on so amunda usen dam hanne barkade tel bedi ba ali ngoto ma fanna boje imo kiwe fu démocratie le be gambia so be real so le tafo usen ya ko le nyanda kala ati atale fo so do fana etafo so membi je wala min diko ila famem fo wala mbirin usen boda president ye karafe o ka dala tede ni mo la bulba ngana bulba ni la mara la mawro la ni la mara ngala mara dum be alo ni ko ni kwale sono yudi tembo wata je bakele so ni usen ba ala opinion poka ay resto le kofo ko mangi padi le lor ladi so birin wato sida padi o ye lor la itanle so usen dam mana opinion al kana fal bokela padi la kodi ka fo wole sa amunda ko usen lo kuma kan nal ko wole kwale sono tinya sai mole kera baro kwale sono sartol beti nyama nkili tamani o be mu usen le ado usen ti je sai baro be ko melke ka usen le mo fanande fo ali nga fe anyu ali nga kili nyoy wato dol baro be ko do keka in fact it could be usenu ka ya mari menna anade kana men ko manga kilindi because be UDP ka folon ka foni wartale andu lonna jamale be ka foni kon so membe je wala men ko baro molle atammin di nyaato bi nga tammin di nyaato na hammo menti chabo tartate le bulu pura futandi amam futa so nimbe blem rokela nganna karfo dum membulu ngobile baraka fo dabolo afuko ni me baro chale ala mire fa no retiro la yofo mo kasi go kasi tola biko pati nyaatonga nalbe diamu la jolli ni be nyinin kala idam mantay ko fol ni be pati o fanna statement kuntin loka ke pati o tat so bannin kuma kana ko de ni UDP ta ala kuma kana se la nyola ko monter so ya ke da bola opinion
Fadia Kexx hold on Fadia lafta you chip in
yo ala baraka baki Ibrahim Sanneh ni Kexx Allahu akbar ga be durin de bari nte aje nyamen na as a referee nte amira do ko nyimbe ko le ale mbulu bakele because Ibrahim fanamba defense of men lakan it makes sense you know Cox fana ye point on me highline be olone bari Ibrahim Kadami yenen yitande wala nyinti ko the power give to the president not to lawyer Dabo so nimble mo nyanta kala mo me alqur'ano taki ko ibe banko nyi iba tamandila fairly so alama ala ye dema so me ya taki wo mo kilinda maldi wala president Adama Barrow anu niya fana niya la kumo fana jube kabrim president Adama Barrow lafta pour ka UDP nyaton kaya Usain Dabo Mansong as a vice president ay muneke ay abondile so that means that he has the power so munatina abederi num because he have an interest. So Mr. Sanneh Cox Fananka Memfo legally near Jube that is President of Family Wotinya. Because in the beginning Kabring Abe Minister Tombona from there. It only a mechanism menula nyokanung pour banko nyanta tamala nyame. You have to go to the house to be to introduce the vetting system. Pour ka Jube Jumale be palaso marala. So it all found Doi, that is the reason why they backed out from the picking point. So what tomorrow lawyer Dabo Martin follow. So what to blame Obetala, the first point, the root cause of the problem, that is Kabirinko first thing what we're gonna do first, Nimbe Minister Tombona. We have to go to the drawing board and then we have to make recommendation. You have to bring forward the person with his CV. Nga jube nga vet nga jube fabe nyimpala so sambala nyola. That is the starting point. So nim president otata aka palaso advice ka foko menyin dila nyina ite ya tomo ya di la mola ila pati okono. So is President Barrow to be blamed? Because ate woman kenu agreement oti ka fo nunko men diate be wala kala il after was symbol etala
Binto according to the video for that men puntindi barole fanko akwate ko Amadou Anele ko political party nyaton ko politician me be Gambia mo man qualify me finance maranola katambi Amadou Sall so pala so ngodi wala kele bulu ka tombondro ka ninka bondiroke so ni ko tinyara ka fo be do bi sembo membuli be nyaka lawa.
Okay, so yes, lawyer Dabo Fanambe blame la dame. That is that ko. With all this mechanism, wale ya Fanam Bondi Bunjawodo. So that is why when you come out, the force that took you out of the prison, atema nyana nala nung kawo Fanan Janjang to add wood to the fire. President Adama Barrow yetinyaro kele. Ate Fanan natala anyanta ele puru ila coalition o sarto momenti ay tamani wala.
Fadia, I Honorable Sidia ko. Ako Dabo Sanneh. Ako Dabo na wato atara coalition o fata, but Dabo left coalition o bade.
Yes, and ngawale foten. The beginning of the problem is covering a Tomondiro Nati and coalition or mechanism mainly out. I will avoid. Atata silola. So that is the reason. That is the first reason. The second one, Deputy Fanan Tombong. So that is where UDP Fanan branch after to the agreement. So what Jumale be Jumanya. So cabinet position la Tombondiro wole nata force. Janin Deputy la Tombondiro bena. So what Atinyata General Sedia Menfo. And UDP nata wolfana ya bade. That is the actual fact.
Okay. Sanneh. Yes, okay. So but kuma kan wolfana mfota. Sanneh la time be dinner for telephone tioli but because even na service on la say be Gambia service for telephone tioli but.
Broda Kexx ngata.
Okay. Ninge ja kumandiro la kote kembe alamana because he be Gambia service on la side mbe arrest la. Brother Kexx.
Yeah.
Brother Kexx yemanta domandi but you are it's okay. Honorable Sidie kuma kanfo. Ako domoro banta aladi konkotol. Ntolma hauja. Mini konkota aladi wol follow. Muna kuma kango. Ite mineje honestly. Ite mineje okumoto.
Yeah, actually, follow Jambe Mboto Jabila. CDI Okumofo, and for me, Ngaji Beko, Atebafo can contestment, Walla Yindiko, Fufuro Siatale, Cabin Vino Keta, Molso da Melanco, Etelekelo be Yajako Lakelo Palaso, so Cabin Fufuro Siata, Ateko, what I say, Melbe, how did a Palaso la Science and Adi Walla, Intel Silo, Nebatu. Maybe Intelledulado because coalition and Dunia Jibe, there are 3 organs of government. Melanco like a government executive sort of judiciary sort of and what you have government the legislature. So this able to be down that can say Mansa Kundala. So they understand in that context about Foka wala maybe Fufuro Siata. Teajako Bari Fufuro Besiare Telsibono in that context.
Ite amira Honorable Sidia, Anyanta another frame le dilaba.
Yeah, that frame was very wrong. Like in young coalition members or Alpha Alcafo Concoto, maybe in our Mandinka term, it was not the appropriate word Anyandaka may use, and which is very unfortunate from his side. And I think he could have used a better word than Kafoko Concotol. He could have said that Melialonke Sulata Palasola Bake Sadi, all those things were a word, but Kongalo Nyama Hadamadi. So that was very unfortunate. If I was him, I would not have used that word. But yes, was not the best word during that conversation.
Okay, thank you, Sanneh.
They are very clear. Because Ako Kabimbaro Kaila Kombekara foreign minister. That happens among the cabinet constitute. It is very clear, and this is the misconcept Mojamal Mempo. So they have said this in Umar Wale's interview prior to before Fatu Network and Umar Wale exclusive interview. So I still have the record. Kokabibe campaign Yokono Baroka Fayako because of your versatility in you are so because Sidia is a linguistic, he can speak almost 70 different languages. So Baro along Sidia long before Kandala Kombekala foreign minister because you can speak English, you can speak Arab, you can speak French, you can speak Swahili, Swahili, and there are almost 6 different languages. I can Chinese man, Sidia can write in Chinese. So he have all this phone call Melanco, he could do it because he was a linguistic Melanco. He was going all around the world, teaching linguistics. And Franco. So I understand that with his experience and other language, he could be a best foreign minister. So I can't find during the campaign period, but it was after when they came, and Sidiaka always had a response in the Kana war until the Kulangatara win the Kuala bad. So it was not Kaban cabinet constitute. So, but Kabanatana, then Barola intention was not to give Dabo the vice president. So I called Dabo Kombekala vice president. Yeah, I understand. This was the first thing. But Dabo knows very well because he is somebody who knows the constitution very well. So then he went and looked at the matter and he came back. Barola video, the same thing. Sidela narration of Barola Kumul Father. Barola Memphis was very clear. And then Sidela Memphis were very clear. Barola Foko another first of a position of the vice president. Barota Dabo Tara the second Akaiko constitutional man permit to be a vice president. Akaiko but foreign ministry Mbekela Watin. Yeah, understand. Akai Impalasi Juma, Akai Minister of Finance. And Impalasi Juma, Akai local Efonko.
Local government.
Local government. But say, let's look at this. It ain't a more bekelda, like more until you Euro Felabelari until more. It had been to Sabida Euro Kaimasikano. Then other Fadi, another Ibrahim another, until Baker for the Euro and Euro. Woro amanke ko itela influence wala sutiabala wala bodela patiola but nintala robe kala ntini de benya taka kanya in respect because iteda madam masembo oto Euro sikala no. Itene fadi fana da mata sikarano bare ne Ibrahim fana fonde fana sembo si budo ni talaro be kala a genuine party ni te place kilinta abula mo be pala political party will be place kilinta nal baraje you go for the second round you go but it know the key positions in a government because ne foreign minister bondi in a government from UDP you have Adama Barrow even though he resigned he's from UDP you have President Odiwala you go there Minister of Economic Affairs ya the UDP la local government ya the UDP la. And go and look at all those foreign service soul, foreign diplomatic soul. Who is not a UDP member? You can count one. Well, Abla, the former Speaker of the National Assembly. The entire people. And it's not based on competence. It's not based on qualification. It is based on nepotism and favorism. Because if you go to the public, the public service regulations, you find that because somebody be an ambassador, there are qualifications. But we can question 3, 4, 5 people that were ambassadors that doesn't have those qualifications. But they were given. It was nepotism. So the coalition was set as a cake between people, not based on competence. They sacrificed the coalition to give people so that they can support them, which was not the agenda of the coalition. So we must speak the hard truth if we want to save the future of this country. And I don't want to name names, but I can tell you people that I know their qualifications. They are not qualified to be even a caretaker in an ambassador, but they were given ambassador position. There are qualifications that one must have before to be an ambassador or even a counselor at a foreign service. These were all given. So UDP was given the highest kick. And if I was a UDP member, I would say, no, we all fought for this thing. You cannot give up because even if you do that, people will see that we are not there. But other political leaders, other political parties have only one ministerial position. That is NCP has only one ministerial position. PPP has only one ministerial position.
No.
Are they not part of the coalition? Have they not contributed like how UDP contributed?
Okay.
But Adama Barrow and Dabo, UDP comply. They agree. And the man who came for the Nekafogo, UDP, it was not UDP statement to say that when Barrow Dabo said that 3 years, if anybody challenge this man. Have any UDP member said, Dabo, what you said is your personal, it is not the position of the UDP. UDP could have called a press conference and said that they distance themselves from the statement of Dabo. But none of the UDP members distance themselves from the Dabo statement. So it was a UDP statement because Dabo was UDP Secretary General. Any statement from Dabo, it becomes a UDP statement, not a personal statement. And it was said in a political bureau. So Ibrahim cannot tell us that is a personal statement. It was never a because none of you, the UDP members, has distanced yourself from Dabo's statement. None of you people. You all supported that one. And you even insulted me on Facebook and so many people that were challenging me.
Hold on.
So it was a UDP members, you all supported your Dabo statement. And when he changed again and said 5 years, you all supported it. And you said that Barrow must resign 3 years. And it was said in a political bureau.
Okay.
So we cannot make
Binto.
that as a Dabo's personal statement. It was a UDP statement.
Okay. Kexx, hold on. Ibrahim, you can come on.
Okay. Mbe dami mbokan Kexx bulu nyoto dumanding. Wala mnende ka ko Dabo bafo ka wato mena ni me baro challenge in 2018 December kam mandwara record be mod bulu.
Abende fa
ko baro yini youth movement men loy nyanda ka bulu.
Okay. Ngamre ka for 3 years so nka for a record fa bente fa bullo. Bar mo be wonje.
In 2018 December bir kama mandwa Papa Touré bije aning FM. Ndebe di am bir in 2018 December wata ndem baro Kenya ko sin telefono lo rajama manko ada youth movement nyanda burka dum banko mol nyande simlo di sabo ay danje ko in 2018 ndey o fole bir kama manduwara in fa Kexx be da men fo ka o be may Kexx be da fo ka fo ko baro ko CDI le ko kan jamale mo be kala foreign minister lo Gibril be da men fa tulolo de mol be campagne wala kamanta kunda do wulindi kado sindi mol ma hani campagne o bay tebi da basse fo bade bulon fo kia e ba fo kando e be kala leti o wato e te ba try ka be mol post la dame so ko ale si wodo mo si o ma hani ke ade ba fan zum fero da ka so wo fanam ba usen le adu da ka fo ko ni kera president wo isi di ake foreign minister wodo mo usen be president baro wato mo le kala bo ham mo to ka fo ko nin kanye da be kala leti ana da qualification o soto ade nyan de la kama ni sida ya jibe ba tarala nyadile bari campagne o fankono ate ba campagne kan ka fasidi ay ko nin kanye da be kelan lede so ndebe mem fola wala min diko ay be mem fo ka ko UDP coalition 2016 ndeme ko nin felentiri bir kama mandwar 2018 December be Gambia le lotale nga keleng ka foko baroni youth movement ta ka burkale anyanda burkale le pereng because na system o menjela o system ki mo le kele jang in fact do fa nga ya fo nyo konye ko baroni yudu ngalon le kan kafo ka president sembe dan ko e nyaadi ko ale sono me ya sindi wol ba sembe ntu ya la tel kana mun nyini nje ka sembe ntu ko be ni men lo ka bina kala political party o mo usien mahani state usien mahana nin ko mo fo nde ba telen kan kafo ka nyande sa gisa bona nyanda jilale annum fana youth movement no ni banko mol ma nya support la bar sa dame mu to nyaade wala min ndiko ni baro ko sidi ani bulu nekira foreign minister yani rata fo no do fana ko be kala foreign minister ba because ni mo campagne ko ne be ka para sol tala ite boy de sol tala so juma be tinyaro na dika adwa ite amira ko para sol nyenda sila la ka tala im fam fo ka fa UDP la député UDP la ambassadeur mba protocole mba anyway mel ya lon ko be foreign service do ko la siada yes PDOIS nga para sol nga bandi tabiro la mo day wulta mirankun so e wulta mirankun na to men sira mirankun na wala be ado mo na le foy ko no fa so an sira lo ko mo ka fo ko maybe Kongo dol nada yalon to nya UDP nsi son Kongo kilimbe UDP la wala mu kanin Gambia sam ko to bentela Kongo kilimbe wala Kongo mu ni Gambia ta ko be mo la Gambia ke Gambia kudo de UDP wala ko ne biye ko tare de because no bentela baro kula na jifo no hani mo dekela ya ko ka fa o mangislo birintele jam fa baro drum patio dol tara nyora bala iba suksukula duma iba suksukula iba suksukula UDP le bodaje sai hanni memman ben itele ba support la biko UDP le tije lo ngakuma kilimo hanni national assembly of député wo moto mel nada national assembly biko bol mel nada patio dol manso o wato be strategy ne ko ro wala mu ni atare wo député le manso moto ala okay usel la statement tari ara fun la kwa ni moto mel nada mo kaneda ni useni yofo ibe membe da wala iba fola UDP député le maje Usenu moto bare be do ko la kafal tel UDP la baro moto menati alkaneta comme menke da 10,000 quote because baro ka be UDP député jolale usenu ko hanni nyanta jolani silore nyanda tala so ika ko usenu maje baro ka be chamano jolale usenu le manson so moto le fana natara usenu ko fana chale the same thing ibo ko makilo ne ko baro moto na adira la usenu le manson so mbeme fola foreign service la ko do comme molta ra nyami do ngol ma nyam fem folon because biringa talaro ke ngambandi do moro mota be nyanda kili yala be na ka nyapi dulaka bari del sabada ko male ko mandar la mele dulata no le mol tomboy place ol dila ta woto ko ma nyam kila tel bala kasida tel do nyini ngata nyato ni dorone mu ba meso be dawo be rakatoke pour banko.
Okay. Sanneh, with your own opinion, ila honest opinion, nga honorable Dabo Moile, akate honorable Sidia Jinkan, bara kumofo. Ako, ata jututa Sidia lale anala kumo. Munete amira, ay nyung kumo memfo. Onyanta follow wala nyama bang.
No, comme nte minjije. Ni sidia sida o kuma façon kuna sidia almu alfati banko kadum kada kol kenin banko kan adum bibite bona ni kumu mo nyaabe telle kan so ni president yaade sinna kuma façon fa mo ke kunundi adum wato tan ko tan bilo wato le misinia tamanya pola ndo kana kuma vokafo baro ko nyele ten ko dabo ko leteng so wo kuma kan defan naije bay hanna tara baro ya fa di ko nde men mira ndela miro yalon baro ni men baro lo talo na ko ni men be not la ba tele no tabala ntel wo ko ni mba challenge na la silo muta bande ngabon je because baro daji ga kilimbala nani de sida defan tata ngamit lu men status bintu ning alqur'ano te mom bole foga nde atar men boda ja ko ni ko daja siri njan sain so ni kwai do foni yete ba fe kan kwai yete le kanu maybe ay même fo yete fana ay même fo fana yete la koto askeno yete molon
bara Sanneh ibe insist kan nyum kumola barole nyum fo barole ite lafta fo la nyela ko baro dun ate laftan tollas banko alifalle kungol fadila nyola ba
wala be kering ko la fende kering e momen ka fo ko ko be tenari ne ko misidi ako akaile ko dabo ko lim forcer adon to nyati diabe kila natari campagne ate baro kila sibe la foreign minister tay no ma ko du avocat mbeke la foreign minister mulana ma fo dabo ko diale kila foreign minister mu wala so diale ngato nya fo ko ka nyoto mo marlen ko be daban gamen sembola ban be membulu wala ko ban ko da ma la sidia yo operation fa maybe anene ko ka foreign minister wo bokono sai na ko da bo fanan ko mbake la foreign minister abo kam fani kan ban fa bo kanundi kan aba kam fan la because maybe bila yo fo bo fanan ko mbeke la foreign minister so ibe juma bile ko bante be mo da la ko modo ko mi nyaton ko ni be banko ke kan kele da koy hana tara man ni do fego membe fi ko kono yebe ra ko mol jibe membe na fala yo fo ngata nyato barka do na da kontete ndefe o mo banko mari no la ke nyato
okay Sanneh biribe ngenyi nin kanyun question wala dabo la baro sidia jinkango asawun tante tulola afokote ke bam because ila internet wala kadunga ka finti afokote ke bam because mo ba afoka ne ko ya afokote ke
akole ko kumoni coming amantari je jabila juta kumoni nale
okay
because kumoni foda damen amanyam fola je because mbe tembo men do kudol lebe keri milliards wolle banko mol sula ba ke golfo so karalo platform do kanin kudo fo me alon hanna fo de amam fo sidi ay kunun afo dai juna le jannin kunu yesi so ama fo no la raman tan fanso no ka fo lun ko faton fo wala ka ko yo kumo ay kumo to ko mala jutta wala le anu defano support le
hani bare Sanneh mandinka kunda ka fo inyo alifaye ka fo alifaye njututa ite mine fo ko
no wasi fenke no le because yalon ni kumodo binake kan ni sana kampara si wodo do use amanke la hamoti ko use so as kumoni tuno je ma fo njuruta but anyway coming ala mire yalo maybe automate be damen wo draso do ne use no pura so
okay
la menno for dal demanding but nga maybe ate coming aboto dama so wodo because mo be kumodo fo la je wo kumola jareta ka fo je defe so ko le fo je tambe da nya
okay brother Fadia italon tolbela sirang o kebat kuma kam fula fota mbe murundi la sidia la fo honorable sidia la fo konkotol anin dabo la fo ko njututa italon tolla alifati lafte la view moy la woto
yeah, that is not right ibe mem for aman right bari momo hadama dingolti ibe mistake okele The reason why a mistake okay, CDL siata a lawyer dabot. A siata ti nyao nya fanang, you know, Nico Konkotol, and they were referring to lawyer dabo be wol konole. Neo for the new to mando na fanang be jabela, you giving away for him to respond in the same manner as a possible knowledge, However, lawyer dabo fanang nyanta respect or dira because sometimes ila keba fanang ka kudo formally. Isa foko na man ken keba tin tenum fanang benyum fala. So they all lose their respect on that for people. But amanke ko nie nyinin ka bi mamira ibe saying la wo kumo kan nyin kan Ibrahim Sanneh ba fola ko he support that. He should not say that. Imanya na okela because Sidia Mukebal to anu I credit go diala ka foko he's a good man. Therefore ni atare bebe diamo fana mandia. Sometimes the temper is too high, the emotion is too high. You will not say.
Okay, I withdraw that statement. Period.
Okay,
I withdraw it.
Thank you. Go. It's matter. Wala nangyay somebody. Hold on. Hold on. Facebook na leta kaduna ngakacha mbekachala jang minketa na Gambia coalition o minketa 2016 ning APRC na kebabi jang minketa Gibril Fadia ti nga PDOIS na brother minketa Kexx saneti na UDP Tiyaseneh Mandinko ni wala fama sirin keno to minketa Ibrahim Sanneh mbakachabe kerim prince ni information o ala share alin share me asekeno bi itoli bi jan sama telebina amanka ko mba hakilima yo diamu kan mbakachala because ntolle tam Gambia nyinke bali bi felem fe sama asekeno mbe koma jibelantine jela so ntolle tamu nyimbankunti ala me mela nyato mba fola clearly but kebal lebe nyato ntol dindingol we learning a lot from the nyinkebal ni a mistake olke comme Ibrahim Sanneh fela ko he withdraw the statement Kexx fananko sidia min fo konkoto mistake ola amanya no fola Gambia ntol nyina nyanta kela nina tinan tol Gambia no fonding kel nyanta kakacha mbelay no yele lali ali nomba jibe dumaje +1678 39000539 alin so 1 minute la al ngamol jebe call kala alin so do mandin na doro because question ole bi nyanta min nyinin kala Fadia nyinin kala alin batu follow alin so do mandi al nomba nyin secure follow mbemuru na Kexx kam brother Kexx kacha nyin kono nga Sanneh ko
ngamire ko bel ay fo nga suba fola
iko afoko takema
ndeni nguro da Kexx lebe
ile connection obe yeman kan e ko minekeda
why do witi kana la no dile ka be tinyala de
hani manta yele la science yalla ne molle iman telefono way ma itandela ali la no lije ali mo lije le be call keka so mba fo kan ne patient
small bi jele mo da melo ndami wol fan be interest la ba kele nga naka chafu dandi wol to duman
hani man pare follow ki kachani kono Kexx ngamo ika foko vice president ya andu barola video to ako I dabo offer vice president yalla follow barata the constitutional nata itandela kwa takala no because of her age so Gambia no be min foka muna wala tinna ala age wala
according to baro ako video ate kole dabo tatale bo dalo kuma ko ale je ko dedeke wala because abi ko jibe la ba ko nyaade ko amaro fa nyaay modo
Sanneh left ite la fenko ta ye taman around ngaji be fo la connection will be better somewhere ite taman ba move around ba ngaji be la connection because we kumol le fo ka me import move around ba ngani question o sindi nga question o futan so Kexx Gambia no okay Sanneh hold on Kexx so Gambia no ko woto niaje constitution oni ya change vice president yala woto dabole ya tinne ya change mol ka foko ya de ya change na madam Fatoumata la ko kam mol ko dabol la ko ya tinne force for ya change ite mina fort
yeah obekela mendi ka ko wala to babulo ka ko mena opinions and sometimes opinions might be fact. Sometimes as a kind of speculation, but one has to look at it first in the context. Barrow Minatina, he intends to give Dabo the vice president at the first place.
Okay.
And at that material in time, critical thinkers must analyze it. At that present in time, no constitutional samba. They have changed the constitution to suit one individual, which might be an insult, even though which is an insult to the entire nation. A population of 1.9 million people. If a constitutional falling just because you want to put a particular person in office, is very wrong. And we have waited for almost 6-7 months before we will even have a vice president. Amen. But you look at even the whole process. The first one on Kabaka, my party rose to the National Assembly through Barrow's command, amendment. Okay. APRC National Assembly members will Biden will because Biden we didn't have the National Assembly election. But they do the entire process. They pass it and it becomes law at the National Assembly. Then Halifa has to write to the Minister of Justice, and I told a newspaper that the process was unconstitutional because it has to be gazetted for 3 months, 10 days, before the discourse. Well, the process was not in line with the very law. So then they have to rescind their decision again and wait until it was done. Then they are to the National Assembly. So why the rush in the first place? People might, it's opinion. We'll see, analyze that anyway. Don't say for why the rush it was they wanted to favor Dabo. That might not be correct. It might be correct. It's left to an independent analysis. Small by analyze la nyama to the mari le bolu. Which angle are you gonna take it? But moving forward. Nataji je kodeke, Farmara Tambajang, then Amufta je, Kaba Mufta je kodeke, then Dabo went there. And prior to before Farmara Tambajang Minaje, the first intention was Dabo. The more analysis can or kind of go, okay, on the whole, Impalaso was meant for Dabo. Farmara Tambaja was there just as a ladder. Dabo Besella Nyame put to reach at that place. It's left to the people independent. Momoya for the president might not be wrong in his analysis. Memphana disagree for might not be wrong in his analysis. All of this thing can be a factor. It's left to the independent analysis, small by analyze la nyame. Momoya analyze nyame, you might be wrong, you might be correct. But if you look at the process, the entire process, how things went, one might say that okay, to nyaleng ya falen non puru double la wala e ma falen non double no nimme ya ko because ibajara ko akata nyame the process o kata nyame to be angale ko gambaga sorry for that. A process o kata nyame to because ye ngani ya follow ni puru double e kije but luana da double bulok nyaado bar ngaje may fati nim boro ta da député bu to pour ko luwa nyam falen bar ya ni hawdi to falen nyama ni luwa silo mantaño la ko dege nyata ka murnan ko dege kantande la liata silo mena silo mambede ya then they have to come back again. So mobile phone no roto menkere force roto menkere lafta no pour ka double mako ni me analyze wo nyama bete ya la faka di double la etela on independent analysis la wodi ni men fana ya ko fana no manke double do sa fono fana farmata tambaja yo ki jele dan ko don pour ka selen nawdi bare ma ya kabiya da bonni je ko de ko dabo kilo ni lafta menkele no je folo wala murundi naji o tura mari la independent analysis wo mari fana la mira nyaale bulun do miro dum akakeno to nyaati akakeno fanya fana de so tura mari la bula mira nyame bani momo ya analyze de la feroto e marron asi keno la analysis ite aje wala nyama ndu mo la jernyal te keno la tinu di ko
okay sane temine jinka
no vice president tombonir nyako ni akilo mambo be mbaro be Dakar fo kanya wala kala so ateli ala bo fo kamena so ka utenu kana e parais la ni TV la ni interview men kona ka para fanta utenu vice president ba utenu ka ko la ko luwani membide membali ka president ko membali ka
alka sane moy la fontel la side mo
yeah aka
break le
yeah sane taman bang achika ba ye taman because la connection o akada fela ko Kexx yela connection o le sunya sa Kexx yala connection o suñe important.
Nga ci ngolo ala connection kam pour kana diamol moy.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, nde menje comme vice president nin tombondir nyako because nin hakilo ba kam manyina.
It's clear.
Senegal wato mena aya fole ko musole be kala vice president.
Okay.
So niwo kola bidum fo jan niwo atene ndabo sita ban fani ndabo man si mawlon barayo fole Senegal. So ni atare ala interview fanan ko na ko ngombe dabo le folo kelati. Ko atare ay muso fan la hedi ko be kala vice president ban fatra ne dabo tare fo mambe ban anara na fo sai mbe muso le trial and so kije hanara mbe constitutional falina maybe barole along daga juma tarje because membe me tombondiroke me nyanda tombondoke me nyanda mo kala place roke da barole so atele along wuro tambita nyame so nde men fulawdo so ni adi fan manager ta useni etilina because wato ngale ni useni ko baro en lafta kala vice president ye men ke fan manager tamba jay bida wala kala wo ko tamale na useni kay ko lafa kala vice president wo constitution useni sonda wala no wo lungo wo constitution abida wala fare na ba useni kay hani me mbali kala president wo ne mbali kala vice president to another fan manager tamba jam fo kayle kwa ntike no adle so bida ta ravo sai ba e sioni mba traila le ngobo je barole bu moti men so la jabino bande men wala min diko ini ko men bebe dun kanyo bindo ni and labire mo kata baro kan tebi ni mo malafi mo endundi mento mo tendundi no lado because ongol Gibril menke buroda Kexx menke ite menke nte menke be menke wala be sai kan ne dimuni so nyande hakilo la nibe dun na ku kono kana fo ko molle nsuksu wanke molle barona la nimbe man se asira ngadi mol soronda janne koy ba kudeta we wala WhatsApp group lo because mo keda ala sira man chaka ni wala so ni o madro ina de ko yale onde men te wala min ndiko membe nyato be nyanda tele tonton na non ay lo mo dabar menna da wali yoke wala min ndiko ku ko tol mel mistake ko ketela wo mistake kili mol bol le jibe kan mel nyanda sambala nyato silam bol tu kan koma ka fo mistake ko mel keda koma sai nga ka fu wole ko betinya tela miro on jami kol mel keda koma nyanda tayla le ngoltu koma ko de ngaji be mistake ko mel nyanda kila nyato wante mel ya lon ko man la fiye ke ngaji kanake ngatente nyato
okay so mbe coalition la kacha lola janne follow because mbe la fla kala no ele time fanam fela kata bare honorable
ko ngaloja
hani kana ta dula nin kacha be continue because molbe ila opinion o follow nan telephone to
mo men ko bisili mo birin kado foko ina ko sanji tabam be dila manji alko mari mol nyata be mo tambala kacha
no yaro sister be kun lafta dula fula Ibrahim dula fula ma men ko important da back in regards so I dula ma men ka munta ko député wala moto nyin ka andande ko ne honorable dabo ko no mol kan o tano mol ba fala ko esi kumal fama ya jala yo le kumal fama amanya ndaka fofa ka foko nyanda ka tara fa number 1 because mol nyanda ka understand mo mo député wala do ko bi biti do lante betala etela mun tella bi e kontela nyanda ke de kanta keji be fo kata silo la like office ko ne konya ko sa etela nyanda ka the watchdog of sister Binto etela nyanda ka jibe kalo ya report back on tel ka entendel citizen la ko sister aliata do ko men abake kan fa manta ke ka bande ni man do ko da de follow tenten ka fo ko moto fele ngadila moto me an ko it can cost 1.9 million dollars moto me ko almost $2 million one can say ngasi ka ngadila malo moto bota damen malo moto soto da nyamen te député o me an ko tele nyanda kere muda because it is very clear in our constitution nim president o fonfen diala na findida in the name of the Gambia findida outside the country any donation that should be surrendered to the state it's not an individual property ato nyanda ka surrender to the state nim president findida tara tamo tamala ni aso hani transfer la je that transfer should be surrendered to the state because he didn't go because of Adama Barrow he went out because of the president of the Gambia in the name of the Gambia wala natara so no moto na was to be clear to the Gambian citizen ol be nyanda kalo no moto so to nyande aboda so député ol nyanda ka kentel bulol ni nyaltije to hold the president accountable when the president start saka duko ditala bonga UDP la position o moto ko la yentel ngala jana yentel tara we counter that yen ngala jam kontel we are against Adama Barrow until we are against the progress of this country Adama Barrow moto mutana until mambala moto soto lam ko lafta moto la bar moto na silo men na wala man ko e doyla The no man koy mol man tell du nyada ka Adama Barrow muta hold accountable then tell to moto talano because thing okay then we cannot hold him accountable because he can accuse us for accepting something me along mala source long then that is bribery. He have bribed us. So come on, do my for my model. Do want vehicle because our National Assembly members, we want them to be a dignified National Assembly members. They will not stand in the street just struggling cars because it is a honorable position. But you must accept something based on principles. But nga double position mo jana ko muna na mol son ta ko coalition moto muda then a mason ka dibide moto muda. And you have to understand coalition is not a government. You cannot compare when Adama Barrow becomes the president of the Republic of the Gambia. Then when he has what we call the national wealth of our country, he controls the economy of the country. He has the budget in his hand. So that one before among national budget sort of in his hand. So we could not, that is a coalition fund that was shared between the coalition members. You cannot compare that to somebody who's having the state coffers in his hand. Nobody should question that they can't compare with a coalition vehicle. No, there are two different things. That was not a government. This one is a government, and Adama Barrow start giving them, and that's why the trend continue. He went moving from the pickup to a brown envelopes, and if he move from the brown envelopes, the trend continue.
Jambe kandila la biede ongul.
Sane te nana. Okay, akana. Alicia, hold on. Alicia, more be call cake. Alicia time la doro. Ninga brothers all bulela ideal le. Nga question also to Fadia fanayele, and it's very interesting na bakela. So Alicia doro alimbat call la alimbat. Okay, Sane Kexx ite continue. Sane hold on.
Okay. So the trend continue like that. The people they give him a piece of land. The National Assembly members, what they should have done was to make sure that look at the rent in this country. Government people are earning less than $3,000. He has a basic salary in this country. The cheapest house in this country is $2,000 upwards. I am earning $3,000. That's it. Will soto. They pay you. Salary la it is very good salary. $20,000 every extraordinary session. It has been increased to $25,000. Every committee session they give you $1,500. Every committee session is that. Transport allowance they give you a transport allowance, they give you a rent allowance. You could pass a bill. We must put a rules and regulation in this country that go. A single room and a parlor must be $1,000. Anything more than that should not be accepted. You pass a law. 2-bedroom and a parlor must be $2,500 before allocating yourself a land. But because of the trend has started from somewhere else, the vast majority of the National Assembly, where is the source of the vehicle, they cannot tell you. And those vehicles were registered in the name of Adama Barrow. Nobody dare to question that. So the road, it moved up from there. Where did they go? If they loan approved, we paid them $54 billion. Because we have encouraged it at the initial stage, and it has to continue. And we have to point out where did that failures come. We see political leaders who stand on platform and defend that vehicles, which was very wrong. And any genuine Gambian citizen should have condemned that action. Sometimes we are carried by our political leaders because of my political leader, Halifa Sallah supported this, then I must support it, even if it is wrong. We forget about being a citizen first, second being a political party. You are a citizen first before being a PDOIS member or before being a UDP member. So your citizenship should come first. Anything that is wrong should be condemned by every citizen first before following your political leader because it was a statement. It was a statement by Lawyer Dabo or a statement. It is wrong. And Gambian people must move from that direction if you want to save this country. But we all follow statement. People insult me on social media. They insult so many people that we are against Adama Barrow's program. That's why we are against these people. But we know the direction we were heading because if the National Assembly members will accept to be bribery, then the trend will continue because they are the people who should hold the executive accountable to the Gambian people, we the voters. But now look at our National Assembly. How many people have cross-carpeted? Because bribery start at somewhere else and we
ngamo iko PDOIS hani yeso man sayale tolte sonna kata
no Binto Kexx kada le badum parena
mbadu ngava Kexx Kexx
yeah
Kexx nga Gambia no ko PDOIS hani president yakali envelope ko ne yal salal te sonna kata
ya yala do wala nyam tel la president ya ni wala mo ka ni nyame e manke kilo de del it's not about until manke ko
continue
e be do na state house nyame that's what is important to us. The left don't state house like with a conscious Gambian, whereby the vast majority of the Gambian people will be conscious to know what is their right as a citizen and why they should entrust their power to PDOIS so that they will hold us accountable. But if the people doesn't know those rights, so you go to the state house, at the end of the day, and they will not understand that he goes to the people, when people don't understand, it is there. Because people are not well understand. It's through their tax, or even if it is a loan, and it's gonna be paid by the Gambian people. But I went to it is not Arambaro, it is for your tax or it is loans of Melanco. So therefore we must educate the Gambian people can understand. So the way of politics, the way of politics they are doing it for them and so many political parties is that we must go to state house no matter how means and ways we must go to state house. For though we said no, that's not the so we are different. We want to go with a conscious Gambian, maybe we move together. We want to move with them. We don't want to leave them behind. And that's why it takes us so many years. If I look at the way of those politics, Benjamin, when we came, we start from printing banners, making cassettes in audios to educate the people to know what is their sovereign right as a citizen of this country. Why do they should entrust their powers to the people? Why should they vote? What is the importance of their voters card? Then we start from there. We didn't just come. If we want, we could have looked for anybody who can sponsor us, come and sponsor us, give us the money. We just go to the state, we mobilize. Inducement of politics we have the money. They can do that. But we don't want that. That's why we don't want it, because the way we go to state house is very important to do it. And if it will take us 100 years to reach to that state, we are ready. For me, I want to support them for 100 years based on this principle. Let us not go to state house, but that integrity and principles must be on hold. So that someone in the world and they learn the history of this country. I told my sons, I was supporting Doi. If they go to the history of Doi, they will say this was a party with credibility, with principles. But they will not say, okay, Dad, you have failed us. You were part of the people that failed this country. Because you have supported a political party that doesn't have those principles that requires a citizen's card. So these are the things, that's why I support it. That's why Nimol Kavondego, 3%, 54 years you have been supporting Doi, or 33 years you have been supporting Doi. I want to support Doi for 100 years as far as they are on this principle. Right. Even if they don't go to State House, I am proud to be a Doi member with these principles.
Okay, thank you, Kexx. So, mbe time in Dindila, then gonna concentrate Fadia la fans all about folk and I'm not fair. You are not fair. Fadia la fans so alimbatu mbinala tekade sane nana then nga Fadia la question or somebody.
Kexx be moto ko nil mel fo kan to nyale mo moto mel nata biri fudata wato men president ma fo mola ko ma ko ribale adi la pour ke di dibitella par wol strategy be nde alon ne ben telle janjandi ko because même mo ko de wato ya tar la be wul tanga di kam mo la kartantan na birim patili da funda ayo challenge ade no ako mole ko aka wakasa aka namo janyan nya wala mun ko ngal jole damuda bar usenu ko muleke dan kaljo so usenu du yemem fola ni lafta mol la mol jola muleke day ko la fen ni nyaton ko lay kata karta ko masilo la pour ko jo so ningira kasodi adu ngalo modol fana bina wato mena ni atari ndel lodan ko na mol kana ma motola no mol fankilin fana abole fana use la kana mol kam fannin kamma ka foko imaje moto be tel buri katel kana moto ta so ni tammi da wala on fanga tammo be lawo metal bada nyong jama le be keri me alon ko bi fos le di la account ko do dun tajele baro di bidelta ka fo ko mbakela le ten abe banko la ko do puru parala ay advice ta e jurma bulu me yalon ko be man banko na fa fenna so bari mol be deri wol ma mol ba fo kan ka fo ko baro le mu advice jolle baro bulu in advisor killing berara ka banko ya mari banko ta nyaato but advisor kiliwo killing 500,000 ka wala receive sankono advice ambe baro bula siara mo kono dolle wol kam jolle rew sanko more than 5 million or 4 million plus so ni dara ya de bake wotumo baro bo ko kutol mel nati kan jama ndela mol ka ton malale barade ka fundi sanda kan le foye ko ko mbali jolale Usenu Manson no do ite kafo kono ilafta fe on chambala kabilo kono munana ko lam fendi kabilo ke bae pour mele be koma wol so kam fa so do ka fo ko nin kabe nin kilale nin Manson muna ibu ko le yusa imaje lo dawre ka fa barona ratu mama kabe nin kila UDP ko le Usenu Manson so because ala problème mo drone da be janjani ko do façon bande men je comme broda Kexx ka duma akilim votonya ni kube kerim banko kan political party li bele nyanta fundla ka ko challenge bar même man ko moto drone wo ku jamale be kerim banko kan me alon ko bi wol bela antabulo kanne moli henya ka wala anu ni kuwol ka ke banko kanne mel yalon ko mol ka hawji ko moy mol ka da siri wo wala ko ko tarde mol be jikiri nyaton kol me na ka tarde ka kuma ko wala adu nyaton kol nyanta kuma lo ku façon le la kadaba ko do be no be kachaka wala kacha nyanta limit la le ni ko do funda sumi banko sula bake ngoti ko kacha because ni aji be follow kidol juruma tani banko kanne banko farta sang farta mo mala be mintol yamon tira ma fen follow na tani banko kanne banko farta sang farta mo mala be mintol do fana juruma tani banko kanne be sain mento sang farta banko farta mo mala mento e pati nyato ka juma wolle moy meli ko challenge ka fo ko ako nin silamanta ako nyanda kiskisila la karaba so mde dula kilim fonola ni mula faman satilin la silola dawda ni nice lobula as a political party mo nyanta fun la kelo la ita ika bari doyen ko yalon ko kilimbela Kexx be sonna wala al nene bu ko tambi al kalole ni mol tambira nyara tele bulen ale tari kirku ni ko ko tele ko baral fanan ka to mole bulal noma nin draft constitutional mental debite buna bira fayda nyamo ko no wato men ngamira GDC to nya ngatili folole diamu da biko may fati fan diamu da UDP na da diamu biko APRC wole lo laitande wol ko jannin kuto na membe depansi lo kundo muna na kodomanto na lamma la fi mel ngol boje jama la fta men ngok ye ngata nya wol ko an saite be lori woto bari do ko ite tarreda de fo wato men fo Kexx fali amoyle ko tara good luck Jonathan no mba woto mal be ko sor la do maka moru ni dibite mo na nin kama al ya ko ka ko atele o
Sane kuma fo important tabakele alin so just a second la last week ning funding ke kachata ja NPP min kada esa dam fati ay kuma le fo akonye sister kana nyina ku kilin nyim political party their government in waiting akonye their government in waiting jannin karte fango fango binala nyante la minister palace ol sotola nyante la government dala fa parere mbande the reason mbo reference la because iko kuwal katarakere mbanko kanne political party ibuka femfo ibuka finti na njuna so womun na sulolet yo kudol maje nte fanambe min fola IEC la nyim propose ka voter registration or time on in sound.
Let me say this. Gal party li fanante keno la ko individual or coming ko kunata ye fundi la nan kanadia mole ka fo ni no wato dol fana fo yela time ta demanding ka kwolkis amanyam wato tala bake bari because political party lu mancha kunade mel kanasi so ni mancha abada kono bi mbay kuje be dron ko wuraro ite fanam funta man kiskisiro ke dumandi maybe bita boyda la do rado be
bar nin kiskisiro ke do kumeri ngomi yalon kay lo kum fula sabanyon sotodo
komi membo ko munku
well iko droko le sira fengole dunta na bankoka yalne yo example of all iko kidolo dunta na banko itella kumomo nte kabuletele no iko banko sam farata fe so what UDP yemine fa court
nde nga ko mem moy natar wol nada banko kan alkam moy le ba
sanke moy
nga hapo mem moy natar wol nada banko ka o siyada bake ndela miro don ko fo ndemam believe la o sifa sina banko kan wo mari wol man connection o soto mo la melia lon ko sudiyada ko la bake
okay
impactana natar fana ku façon nada banko kan ti amira janeta nyapia kan nyan wala nan ka fo nyanta SAS burkala gambe na fato la because intelligent nyanta men kila wala men nyante nyaare lola ninka ye John Lisol cho ya chori John Lisol fana e bula ko no maka kisi fo e silo di ala be futa dama o tumo e dunim bo korosi o wato wol be tarra record la juma wolle bulobe nin ko kono ba ni nya tamporo do drom e ma mo muta e kana mem fo mole wala min ko ka fo mol Canada lo ko njoli mo mamuta na do nin hapo men dun ta gammente mambe ani ndol fanan ka fo na Interpol en lon nin kana gambe ya Interpol ka kenyami wala mi ka chance dile ya bula be futa la dame ta muta je biko nyatari ya muta Espagne e be Gambia nol moy la ka fo femme muta la Espagne mula kay mula boke la Gambia nol tati wala na ya bula anyanta futa la dame a futa je atari tele nyaba kanne pour na futa da ya muta je bante menje wala min ndiko nata to nyala fata mala banko kam bi nyom ma nyatar la mata kunda mam femfo natari datije because ba fula
Okay, Sanneh, hold on. Kuma kumari mbalon because this is national security matter.
Because yalong nindula e banko mol sula don kulo me yalong ko nim façon kera banko kata ba katari yara nyawnya tel nyante lo la italale. Barka siya be mili malala mol ba fulate itel mel nyanta ko senen la tel be dering. So ni mo ba fula isa fo no ko ibe dering kule kan.
Okay, so Sanneh Mbatu nga Holland on the side is Fadia.
Yes.
Nga kibaro moy. Ko President Jammeh. Anyanta murunana. Dosa fo nye mantara Jammeh ku kachala is very important. Mbe Jammeh ku kachala le bi because Jammeh muna Jammeh atasa wulina no kana banko kan just like that. Banko kan konta wulita ntanita wulita kadunda banko kan lafte nyinin kala wal.
Well, abaraka bake kachanyin kumayata bake today. Very interesting. It's very interesting purka UDP they're making sense. You know, for the first time. So this is very great.
Now
I know. Me Tonyan Kanedro. So Tonya Yalo Niko ya Jamebena Munatina Molki Jo Kafara. Because what is going on right now in the Gambia, Molbe Yalonko, there is no security. Isi APRC Konya Onya ani President Jammeh be careful, do careful ni ya Jammeh benu Gambia security be sotolale. UDP fanamba fola ko ni ya Jammeh benu jang security be sotolale MPP fanamba fola. So there is little true tendency in it. Wole nyimtiko mole me Yalonko he cares about security. Anu Gambia le mbela bankote anu me ya Jammeh fintinije is through MOU. Agreement ole ketanu anu assigned to fanan. Because me dlalto no during that impasse kelo sikeno anu alatamirin kola namanke ya Jammeh tunun tenun kelo be sotola. Why? Because ate sa fono ala mole ko yekido fay anu woketa drong kelo be kela. So Atela Funto, he saved the Gambia from Minuka to other countries. So Aketa Jane in America as an example. So just to cut the story short, Wolem Yintuko Alana is imminent and yantanalali at all costs. But in Nabenala Fanande is protocols because protocol le abondi Gambia, protocol le nyanta in Gambia. It all after time or menanu, it lapses sign abinata for another election. It all mansakunda nyanta bananu 3 years. That is the transition. So and the transition is passed. So a day after the 3 years for asinanole. Because this whole idea it was for 3 years. So I'm baro lapse le anata san wala tina akata muru EU ka foeko. I want to extend the stay of the economic. Why Niaje about extended? Because the time has expired. So he asked for other extended time. So nim President Jammeh ni molba foloko anyantanala. Anu fabaka to monjata ma foko. Abenala President Jammeh madala bi ya nyinin kale. Pandiri ture akaeko. President Jammeh na watitala. Asinano bi, asinano sama, asinano next week, asinano next month. Mayati na molka foko wala ikasobika foko abenala le sign because ntola conventional abenakela the 14th of February next month.
Okay.
So wala tine itoli America abe tarla jele. So that is why all this speculation is going around. But kabiri nyinkwale sono keta fa dol bota kuna molka for ajanjanta. But mona manam finti coalition kono ka kuol ni seneyandi itole men sign and itol be olon UDP yalong, DOI yalong, NRP yalong, all these other political parties, they know what is discussed. But in Munati ne buka funti ya sene andi itolka speculation or warandi because itoli yalo ne UDP manually signed on their behalf. Itoli yalo ne men signed. So why do they have to ask other people Fanyantana and Famanya? Itoli yalo ne what is agreed on.
Okay. So another conversation of financial left abe kala nyoga janni nyundon la opinion obina. Honorable Oje Jalo aya foko ako victimol you will compensate well na fabe waradina kajame prosecute yemina forward.
Yeah, this is not the first time where Commission of Inquiry established in Africa under the circumstances. Mayor Wasabo is because of the military junta in 1994 and President Jammeh Nyatonkaya ate President Jammeh killing Yewura anala mall in other political party law. So that is the reason why you found baby killer because Naman Kewoti what had happened in 1981 wale jawiyata men happened during President Jammeh Lawatola. But it was manoma because of President Jawara wasn't a soldier. But it happened in Ghana. Ghana do ya resolve Nyame. Oje Jalo Kawolefo because atata school in he politic anu ayalon ne menu benunje anu member caring sama anu he can predict what is going in the future. Anu niko reconciliation is both sides. Funga to forgive one another and then after we can go forward. But we all been victimized because hani APRC la mol UDP ko le na mo fale aliunja ya kuntun ko ya kuden is horrible. But who is gonna be from Benawol normal bangi fanafa? We cannot do that. And that is a member of our party. Amanke communitero leyake. This is about political party against a political party. So we also have a story to say in this. So Haruna Jata Feda Fata during this coalition government. But the honeybee moment now forward. And the same thing happened to the people in Faraba. And this exactly as Solo sending Fanam Fata Nyami. But what had happened, Moma Muta Imam Mosoro Wokola. So you see, that is why we are saying that I'm unfair. So victim all nyanta ila right but then the way to go forward is better near compensate and then we try to rectify the mistake. Kajoko we change the playing game, the ball game, so we can block those things. Komi pompo na be yeleri jani betala iba normal ibe banko kelaka ibe pompo le soron na follow. Then you go after the team. But it will find monkey because all this immunity, everything that is happening now, molbe fak and wrongly. And in honeybee, there is no mechanism put in place that will stop. So what I think OJM for, at move victim multi, not for, then we have to embrace that and to move forward.
Okay, Sanneh, take me forward.
Okay, thank you, Uncle Gibril. So, coming follow more bafokang jamme binala. Na nole Gambia, bari yalong aning Oje Jallo kamem fo coming Gambia di mo Gambia di unti wuluta kamem Gambia di unti ta dunia dawda e simuru no na la banko kan ni la tala man fenki je. So bari damen na diamo be jam fala ba Jallo ka fo damen na puruka victimol ju so nyambi penna aning jamme manda kitola. Nde woto ma fanna
ana amavo jambe kanata kiti ako wala be gena kumaya jamme ta kitio.
No, yalong janni ya fo mol ju so nyabbi folo fo to nyale fo folo.
Okay. Okay.
Mi ajibe ba ke melbe fo da jamme ma dol sa fo no to nyala mara lolo kono eketa. Ani dol e mo si lo no le ya fo ko asi bono e kalama dol fanan bije mo do fanan si lo no la fa mamba be kalama. Yo banya e mara lo nin kono koku tinyata dol bije ni hana tarakete la ila doku bundale koto ni nyinin kay ka fo le jamele mbulala. So nti amira pura fana silo soto ay fo no because loi men di kada loi to misalo fe ibitale yeta fo ete ye loi ye men sambete je yo tar yete fana yeta fo je kana jibe memu tonya. So nti amira o ko bita nyame wote bayino la fo mo juso nyabbi bari jannin juso fana nyabi fo mo yalo njuma wolle kudi minni layla molka because maybe dol fe jamele yake dol ba fo kan jamme ni jamme fana silo do kata fo keno mol bita famula ka fo dol keta man katete so nte menje ko min ka fo ko ka jusu nyamboke ti ara sibe lori woka woto te bayila so ban ni jamme fantada ay chance da diama ti ara sile ba wanda chance da kito la bam pour mol ya fana side of story mo because keno do oje jallo do ba fo kan ka fo ko jamme kanata kito la wante misalo fe anyway nga yam fa jam nga ay ka dumandin di mola wole fi janga jamme sa kito la wante ka dumandin di mola ngoke sorry na network ko allo dumandin
hanin ke moy go ahead
okay ka dumandin di jamme la maybe do sa fo non de la opinion do sa fo no ko because ninde hakilo ba kan ko tenene bulata kudo ko no min ni jamme chance don defana no ko be lon na mol mam men lon tonu den defana mba fo la le moji ko nyabinin kara don ngo kulaje
okay
so nde wala mun na fana chance do kata ko den mol ba alona biko membe fota ako edam biko ala mara lo kon tonya tol ke maybe kasi bodol kalama dol fanan cha fona de bola do kalma baray ku kende jamaale fanan kede so ni ya fe o fenkeda banko kamara lo kon anna man kat la site akalla te kum faboda kalma famum ba kalma na fanan chance do afo nde amiro be senyala mol salon to nyaminde ba history membe savera asene ma sa fe ba natnora tenka mol jito ko mol jito nyabi kiti ko be bola jele ko yo bandami natra tiara silam fokki bolo ma nata mol bal na maybe askeno do ba fo kay bulan na ko wanda kana silo so do kadiamu wo fe na diamu ta mol bi da kule lon nate to mol mamelo because men ka fo jambe abe ka puta telephone ma te fanambe kasi jamale tenola na silo so radiamu ta mole
okay so all right so Kexx mba okumos finansa undile fananka
okay
yeah
kwale men fore yalo ndan telu nga institutional law jang me alon ko men ka munda ko a TRRC do nga do ko le dila ka tax dila ka endan dila ko lata nyilla la because iman tu wule rek mol tombo la min jeda bo nyol kata esa fal nyol ye tombo re just because of the adiate rek ye tombo lata ko ye do ko nyen nole so ni tara do ye mo tombo ye do ko diara ngamira nyanta ka men ke wala nyinte ko da there is an act me alon ko wala CRRC established and atata through the deputy wala parliament la me alon ko be council because constituency mo la so membe siriye je do e fam fam deputy ko na fo del to yala so akumata ba ke ninga na institutional bula do ko la let them give them all the avenues that are necessary for do ko ke and kana interfere ba ke la do ko le ba jala ko wala si hold no accountable if they fail to us but then start ka interfere because of that fear ye ku ke manya na kamenke wala because of the public la press member la reka ye ku ke me alon kan silo mantanyo la ko reka so ma member general loi ko mala wala ngatra jamba ngati ara singa established and nga taxman delay it is very clear la acting kono it is very clear that constitutional TRRC la do ko moment mo be alone and there are two types of justice molketa if you go to other countries there are so many types of justice you have a retrogative from TRRC solbe kelen melanko you go in for revenge or you go in for a court mari prosecute those are ways but until Gambia jang according to the act passed through our parliament melanko that the approved and it established the TRRC commission is promoting what we call reconciliation is that people must say the truth first and they must reconcile the truth. They must reconcile the nation and repatriation. Well, and the victims will they make sure that they bring them back to the society. So far that maybe they go into traumas and so many things. So far that's what's before. It's not me who make the laws. It's not me who make the TRRC Act. It's not me who established it. It was established by this coalition government and taken to the National Assembly and approved by the Parliament. So for me, let them exhaust to do their work. When they make that opinion needed to make start that opinion, we might even give them difficult for the TRRC to do their work. But what we understand, well, the TRRC fanaya and they will come with a recommendation, and the recommendation might be those who have done the serious crime, the biggest crime, they might recommend for a legal way to go through prosecution, and if they are wanted by any court of law, they might face any punishment that is there. That's why they said that for recommendation at the end of their fact finding, they will come with a recommendation, and that recommendation can be looking at the way of a job. But right now, what they are doing is to gather the evidence today, to bring the truth out and try to reconcile. That's why during the process, even TRRC, they see reconciliation in the process. Like Edward Singate and Sana Sabal reconcile there. We have seen OJ Jallo and somebody to reconcile. That's part of their mandate, that they must reconcile the nation. And during that process, all people must ally, because that's the mandate that is given to them based on the law. And each Gambian people accept it, because we all have a National Assembly member in that parliament, and it was passed by the parliament. That means that each and every Gambian accepted that for the TRC to be established, must tell the truth and must reconcile the nation. And so once you allow to be, but if we start to, because Kabin Ojara statement, you see people start, distraction on the work of the TRC. And I think that we should give the TRC all the leverage to do their work and allow them to do their work. From there, we can make our conclusion and we can hold the executive accountable, whether they have speak the language of the Gambian people or the will of the Gambian people or not. But leave a process open and we want to question them that it's going to be a problem. And the same thing to this drug issue. I see so many people attacking political parties. Political parties should come with a statement to condemn this drug issue and phone call. And Gambian people sometimes I just sit down and I know we don't understand. It is not the role of any political party to talk about drugs that have been seized in this country. The role is for the narcotic agency, the police, and the courts. The narcotic agent and the police must do their investigation and gather their evidence and take anybody to court who was found wanted. That is not the role of the political parties. But people are insulting political parties. They say they are silent about it. Like we don't know our laws. Go and read our laws and understand each body their role. The role of a political party is to make sure that government strengthen our security apparatus, so that they can hold anybody who is doing any criminal activity in this country. That's the role of a political party, to make sure that cause strengthened. But number two, they are insulting our police officers after doing this work. Any country that is not capable of detecting drug coming to your country, that security is not capable of giving a security to their country. We should thank our security apparatus for detecting this. Even in America, drugs enter there. All this work.
All the time.
We were able to detect these things, and we are still insulting our security officers. They said they didn't do a job. Sometimes it's just crazy.
Okay. Thank you, Kexx. Saimbe Minkela, Alimbalali, Binto Bantaba community Kachalo Meta Kacha Diata, Barsai. Mbe alla gesol murunni la alfankam aliyembala alta buru alta subu ngo alin share alna fadia noma afela ila moli yembunjam fon tarata iba vole man tara platform o dila. But anyway, nalbe YouTube, albe Facebook, alin subscribe, alin like, alin share. Alni information is very important. Young Gambians natalanga na bankota mfangol be sirin jang mbe kachala. So ninna ke balma minke right nga fole ni minke right nga fole ntol tam nyim bankot sambina line o ile alla number be kala +1 67839000539 nali call kana la sutian this agent mo dantantano jannim balu bulala. All right, Sambe, hello caller.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Caller.
Hello.
Kola bijela ba? Okay. Alkamoel.
Ha.
Hello,
Okay.
assalamu alaikum.
Ntela bukama aka abedi amka.
Wa alaikum salam. Kamoel.
Okay.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Wa
Abijela.
alaikum salam.
Alaikum salam.
Kola di amna.
Okay. Left the topic on mem for la.
Abijela.
Ha.
Okay, nta malumu na mantara moy kan na side. Mbe connection wala kek. Alkamoel.
Ha, ante ba moy kan.
Gibril, Fadia, Ibrahim Sanneh, Kexx,
Alimbatu. Mbe. Okay, kola abijela.
Ha, Abijel.
Okay, thank you. Sa mfana nkamoel na connection wala chantano. If iduntana ne please todi mado.
Nde Al Hussein Jata.
Jata njay nimbara Ibrahim Tinna.
Yeah.
Ikanga ulindu do mandi ya.
Yeah, be Gibril Fadia kondona, be Ibrahim Sanneh kondona, be Kexx Sanneh kondona. Yo.
Yeah.
Kondondro kola coming love the topic go men kola aboko drone Kexx je fole already completely.
Okay.
Parce que ñu wato kono ko ñintata forumol kono lalto. Yo mol ba fo kan coming ñin drog mem mutata be mol tumika. Yo any country ngamiran tel men bebe jando atel men be diam gandeng albe Europe country leka. America, do America. yo bari drug kata wo bangol kanne but fonin drug dunda banko kan fo opposition le kawuli bang ye ta drug nyin saj ka fundindi banku doni bang
okay
wala mun na ko exonodi because police la do ko mendi say ndel lafta jela ko opposition la do ko e kewoti woya kendi disappointed bag ngamo mulbe kuma kan men fo kan foru mol kono wol fengeta bag ko political party ol nyanda fundila le diam bare any political party ni believe tala ko e nyanta actla wonyala dron koni any issue na ta bango kay tebe jompila le be sawna issue nyindi betula mistake ko da manne ko yeah
okay so abaraka thank you so much thank you
Kexx wodo nyim fola ya bang comme lafta fengele nyini ngala dron ngoto ma Jibril Fadia yo Jibril Fadia ko professeur la na ko bango kan yo ngamira ate dulala fo jeto ko dame ya lon ko abe ye fengole ye sayno kele pour ya jame nana yo wo sayno nyin ko min aketa nyamin demon fello wodo faso explain no nyina ba
okay all right thank you abe jin kanale yan
baraka ba
okay Fadia hold on keep that
sorry sister Ibrahim Sanneh fengo ngamira ay political smartness leke jeto aman bla fo je me alon ko lawyer da boy menke fengo nyin topic nyin kono Ibrahim Sanneh ngamira ko ni young people lo mata alafta jela ko among lawyer da bo muta ko min alati lawyer da bo multi me alon ka mistake le ni lawyer da bo mistake da anyanta fulale a mistake ta damen
okay
ko min Kexx ya fu afa nyame
ha so
bari kanaje ko ita mu young people oldi do be nyaato barna mistake ta itala mistake ko fula ya muta ko min alati ni nga ko nya doron ani sa embe tula mistake ko won
okay thank you mba murundila ala connection e man tabare mbina normal
thank you very much
Gibril ajinkan while nga nyin call dota
abaraka bake say Alusenu Jata Njai
hold on
yeah I meant for the MOU signed because yalo ning kubekela for president Oyefinti there was a lot of foreign leaders menu yalonko inatele to mediate between President Jammeh and the coalition for transition of Sikeno Nyamena. So that includes the president of Guinea-Conakry, president of Mauritania, Selig Johnson of Liberia, and the stakeholders. Agreement on Menketa, Anyanta Tala Banku Jumalto, number 1, and in Jumanyo Lebe Tala, and Numfanang Ara Ta condition or Nalafta Nalafana Membekela.
Okay.
So all that was agreed upon. So until we agreement on Mankenyala, but we all have the copy, is even at the UN website. So all stakeholders from a copy so they know something about it. So because of the transition.
ML hold on.
Okay. Yeah, it's the transition period. The transition was supposed to be 3 years. So what 3 years or Tambitale? So Walatina and he have to come. Now later Osafele as a party. But it was 3 years or expired. We went to all the stakeholders. Now later or Sambe. Even the president, but none of them responded to us. Men responded, I think it was the EU, Mayor Fonko, yeah, we will look into it. But in Honeybee, nothing has been said about it. So, Ngajeko is due. And no, Atefana Nal after Nala, anytime, as in Nole, Bari, come here, Afanyame, Lua Lebe Bangkoka.
Okay.
It depends to the government what they want to do. But all the rights to the because of the MOU agreements.
Okay. Mga call sa line to call Jamal.
Tell him Kodi.
Jamal Emelite dunna.
Okay.
Emel level line.
Binto baraka bakata kago bol be konto.
Okay.
Bi kay bon e mol soto mel yalon koy no. Bi kay fon la mol because Gibril mun na tal bolati and dimpola sana ko dankol. Dimpola be fe so that is okay. Anyway, baby tontulam baby jayla bankola ko lay be kuma kendo la for just comment kana mota ka kuma jawti telefon la baji be la ngata mem fon le ngaku kendolta ani mem man beti ay ibuka ka kona fata la ya moy tulo la mem beti ale ko la de rek yola Also, comme programme font comme des problèmes ou même coalition or ko nyento nte pe mem fola nyento dron wala nyento dron, we have to be honest here. Nte UDP blame la, but mbe mem blame la dron ka ko dia mo fon la mandina karolan sa fono usen da be mistake o kala because pour abra comment di dron ka ko nimmen ko ba force la ba modol ka translate wol nya ka ko nimmen ko ba force la c'est samba kiti yola. O fon da ma baro fon so la symbole al kaloku because baro be jikirata law time yo mo salo no to ka ko mistake tal ko comment di because what time ma afo nim bimbe men kono tenting na lon ko bibe sila tanda nan tem fon fola yo game wala mistake wolti and adama dim bukata mistake wala mo man ka malay koti yo nim boto karol sidie jada fana na comment ning I mem fana fon last time I would not disagree with Sidia Jata and I would not agree with him double side. Nta disagree nta agree la fana because I kumol member for. This is just a teamwork. Waruma bafula I mel belo kumo fo jebe baluren. Baro balurene usenda balurene and CDF ma tafala. So be fana safintino ya fo be caring. Tol gambe nyanta kallan enough la say ngaji bembe juma la tambendila. Because ni mistake will be siakan dia mesol be siakan ne nyaton ko keba nyaton ko fo da mal ko den nyanta kaji bembe mona ko kala janni be na mistake la nto barata the next government ninga failure soto. Gambia political on data je ko tak. Because someone santa no complain la ka leaders problem ko ya jambe ko baro another government for ninga fault soto then I'm definitely in Gambian politics.
Okay, thank you.
Ni na OJ for na Carola me just I mean ninga for complete. I think OJ a counter ka diam because as TRRC be do ko wala nata yam fata o melia ko ka tala ate ko ku bani o tema des comment bara manya na TRRC nyaton kay ala ka comment di ka fu ko pour ka fendila wol be official dan dia ka kitiro ka tapal ten anyante en comment nyin saflal fola nin TRRC la final statement di fo banku fo yela kol be amin complete then naka ta fon fendi o time was na la comment di but at the moment it will be manya na comment la mo me ala ko ida mama ga victinote nata sula ta kodolas ke dol man sula kodol lafta justice kitiyol atanyante mu nyala la fo ko e bam pap ayna comment di o karol yo ni nata IEC fanana karola IEC la karola ntengamira ntemman IEC bilem folo andu ngekita IEC la bakal ko mbe duma wala nyinte ko nyimman sakundal be IEC play kam bar IEC be balankanne so be down play kanne ko nyimman ta work kan with IEC so mol man jila understand o down play wala nyinte mun atne deputy I mean man tombo men nyante kala assistant ote kay IEC la kiyama no kam no balan ko ta buta
To accept, press 1.
Bleka menna police kutila so wala atna nyum carte voters registration be cancel because ko mbe be do mala abe government be interfere kan je ka IEC di stop ke blom tele do ko wala na IEC fana ane ko reject kane bilem wa ya reject nella mo la the reason why ya reject abe fintal one day but am so ko there is something going on that go government la interfere to their work baraka back.
All right, thank you. So mbe okela topic tele likely later on but be hello, caller, hold on. Caller?
Yes.
Caller, hold on. Caller, so alim batu ni mimbe diamo la liye batu demanding. Fadia, nga ML Lesotho, mbatu nga di Kexx, nga brother ML Lesotho, ako nim fail ta koteke date political.
Nko la pamoja mayo nko ko nkano ke because nite ofonte ofore ko do be banko mutala na tuje rek momo adiata me rek onsi wakere na sabare ngalon ko kelo asime nyawonya banko dole kelo ke menta midantel tadi wala alhamdulillah me fo ba nimbe ko be jikila tela rek wodon kanna banko dingol mel ka wulu so man la faka gambe jawole dila fonsi wakele nga kelo ke ngalo na ka dimine 33 president hansa intel be nguluma kan mole boroda de fo on the next ke fo start wududa gambe ma wudu fo hansa be on the marks like be line o kam mawudu follow modole boro muta fo dara Rwanda nyol dol findida boro kono Ghana nyol findida boro kono you look at Senegal nyol dol findida boro kono but Gambia still now we are on our marks mamu follow ko kuda ka modi ni mira with the abundant mineral resources na men so do nyim banko kam bado kunku sanya tato mining men kake wodo can feed this country but because of poor leadership Latina still now this country is suffering but not about the resources hanina bada ma can feed us a population of less than 2 million population. You know, but the policies in Gamel Pass are the problems. Look at just the agreement they signed with the AU. When we could have cut our fishes and land them here and factory that we process them. Now, in the outside, we have foreign exchange. You look at the black sand that is transported in this country, the woods, you know, but you know, it's a problem in this country. People, you look at the unemployment rate. It's not that Gambia resources sort of be the darling of the whole world, but it's because of poor leadership. So the way and the manner.
Hello, call.
Election, that's the problem. And unless government people will move from that, because now after 2021, if we bring any president, I feel that no Gambian should have the authority. You must point the fingers to yourself that for failing to put the right person in office. Then the blame is because 2016 has taught us a lesson that because we went on an extent that we believe that but by 2016 has manifested that our voters card so now any failure is the government people who fail in their responsibility to elect the right person to their office. So they should not blame any leader for our failures. We should hold ourselves accountable.
Okay, caller, isa dunna. Todi mado.
Okay, yo, ndelamu esa jawla.
Jawla. Is
yes.
Bismillah.
Yo, mbela paneli sol kondo na Sanneh kundanga di new flow membe je be mo.
Ibrahim ye man tala bar sada nat.
Yo, so anyway, Allah program is very interesting, you know. It's very educative, you know. A better packet. Okay, lafta coming tega kuma dandan so lafta nyinin karo kilamen.
Please.
Okay. First, nanyining karo beta Kexx there because eko dabole coalition tinya dabola for baroye. Baro beta 3 years lela. Comme benga amoyle yalo ni mole kuma fonge references. Ala kuma fumune.
Okay.
Because ntenga amira ko face fodun adamadu me yalon ko honesta. Na society kono. Ite mari du ilata ko tonya ni mole lahido ke pour moli e bunya. Ite mu fansung alphalete ini mole agreement ke wo agreement ko la mo donata akoy ko ilani agreement atinya ite do mo alphalete society ko ini fansu musolo ini fansu ndilom fo ite mari dum e nyanta wo lahi do nyin tinya la ba wala ko lata mole la
okay
lafta wo jinin karola because ni ko dabole ko baroy ko 3 years ola but barodung ateni coalition members will sita 3 years ola dabo kay ko ta 5 years ola baro ma faltum kebal baro atata na adiun lom baro be 50 years le ado dabo e men fana fo wala mo koni men kay ba force la fodu muslimo wala hana man ke muslimo ti mo me yalon ko lafta ibela integrity kantala ene mo le lahido men ke fo mo nyanta futa to the extent that pour que force ka wala hido nyinti mande ba
okay
and then okay na fula njaw kedamente wala mo Kexx kuma kilim fana fo wala mo ko politicianol manyan involve la drug la fe ko to ka condemn drug trafficking okay mafo ntol bebe Europe jana mafo ko men yalo ko they are not so much interest about European politics or any other things but ndengalo ko jaman jang oppositional title to the extent that it can demonstrate no organized because of the kind of drug trafficking and drug dealing in their country.
Okay.
And then Nina Tani German la security la. Police la site la they don't joke with drug stuff.
Okay.
But always ela opposition they are condemning drug trafficking to the extent that pour kela banko nyaton ko engage because of the kind the manner drug beta kela banko kanya.
Okay.
So I think it is misleading promoe fundina kafo ko amanke opposition la do ko pour ka drug trafficking condemn kila banko ka.
Okay.
So anyway Allah
so me kuntula jang Kexx ko ama fo nyama sa ila moy Kexx yemen for exactly Sanneh hold on Kexx ila nyun call clarification or dia la kote nganyun call dota
info is very clear. People should stop calling political parties.
Hold on.
Press 1.
I'll tell you about this drug issue because my institution is in Bangkok and they are responsible. So we didn't have the trust in our institutions, then we have failed as a country.
In the background,
we won't allow those institutions to do their work until we see that there is a
accountable
based on those facts. But mulka mempo wala nyindi ko political party ole wuli ba fala dole ko albe dere kaben drug start alman diam. What are you gonna do when the police are already
background or called
investigation ka pare ka lonko what is the facts nde wala ko the role of the political party nyanta ka menti wala nyinte to force the executive to strengthen our security apparatus by providing all the necessary equipment that they need so that they can do their work. But you have to take the role of the role of the police and the court to make sure that you bring those people to. That's not the role of a political party to even investigate. All what you can do is your consent to raise it. So, but we have to get up. We should start investigating. We didn't talk about. We have to. That's what I said. That's where my point. Political party. And number two, the second question on regards to the issue of member about. Ako dabo for the moment you have to understand that Adam Barrow emerged from UDP. And this is a material fact. And Adam Barrow has his political father, which is clear to all UDP members. So Bitilorani Adam Barrow member Dabo Ebi, a name Dabo member Adam Barrow Ebi, and NTA member Barrow, well, CDI member Barrow, likely that he will take that of Dabo than any other person.
Okay.
Yeah, so people have to put that into context. And say issue memfoko nako I force. Who even said a force here? Wala ko mole agreement memfo wala ko 3 years and Barrow nyandaka accept. That was the argument. Nobody used the word force. There, I never had any political leader memfoko Barrow nyandaka jile by force. I never had it from any political leader. So it called forcement and it has never even emerged. Because nobody said that. There was no political leader who said so. So go for then let us not romanticize things. Let's face the fact now for us it is to save the country. The moment we start to romanticize it, we'll always be regretting. We will always be that's my issue. Dabo has played a role there, but Barrow played a role. Barrow accept from Dabo, they all contributed to it. Dabo is a contributor factor, Barrow and Asonda double contribution, and it leads us to the failure of the coalition.
Okay, Kexx, Ibrahim, hold on. When you call a kilomota, then you respond. Caller, every line out. Bismillah, Todi Madu.
Muhammad Silla.
Silla kan ulindinya Silla ibirmintina.
Okay. Mal be kondo na kari Ibrahim Sanneh la. Okay, Ibrahim Adam po komisa lawyer da bola kumo. So die kuma ya da bakale parce que lawyer ate Barrow force no la kapa e ko be ni nekel. Barrow benala tembo do wati ma ta lawyer be soronni. So coalition on you kono lande ma mira lawyer nda be bulala je hani ba batinya no la man possible.
Okay.
Coalition la tinya barola coalition o tinya. So ni mo ka pem 20 tafala. Barola ko be ku. Okay. Na broda ka ko komita dro ko men da fo politician on nyanda ko mala fe ma nyang. Bango ma nyantinya la politician on fana nyale nyanda ko mala.
Okay.
Parce que barobe dame mo be kajele idan fembe nya politiko nya don kala ten be kajele be pare ngele kam next. Okay, ni banko be tinyala wonya. Wol manya wojela ka ko idan manya ko mala nya ko mala. Police do ko munya wonya.
Okay, so thank you. Sanebe did dunna na science and Sane you can come in. Sane te dunna.
Because they mean for all the other capo.
Sane move around Kotekabang.
Okay, coming ndebe memfo kan wolon coalition oning drug issue ni molba ka topic ko kono ten yalo nde nda fo jere. Ba memfo le anko ni mitale fe nuntanam banko kan patiolte wul no la wolo no do ka ko be femfola. Ba ni dara fo ya kala sobe warli nje ite lenyanta fundla mancha kunna ton ko yela do ko ke nyaabe kanne. Ko political kam menke mancala wala mu ka pirese pour anyanta menke la ayake so wo sen be biko ni akol jeba molbe do ko la mu toñade bari ka fo fanan ko ni seni ala fana man kasi because ni ajibe ko dol bije ni kera tubaw do jantili clean drong wolum fanga ja ni ba for 24 hours man sakunda ke lo la funtindi state ka funtindi tel be lore ndame bande la nin kota da tijoli man sakunda man fe ngare mem ngare mem ira façon ne ke Gambia wato lo jamme akeda lu wolum fanga within 8 hours fanga ye lo la funtindi fa ko e modol muda so ni man sakunda be deri man fe ko be kala sol ka dum ngalon ko anyo jamal le kira melialon ko dibi opposition ke dele ke jibe ibu kada ko ke mol nyabo so membo ko nin kudo tambita de wala le so be nyante ta fola le ka fo ko ke tonton ka fo yela do ko ke because mol nyabe kande so nte aje o man kasi because nin tuba do jibe tuba do police wol yela do ko wolonne wol bu ka man jibe ibu ka nyan man sanya kono jibe wol la do ko menti wol yolonne bayte Gambia tal Afrika tal wol kam men fola min de ka fo ko mbe man sale ko mbe man sale ma ko e kam man sale faza ka so ni wol bulan do ku façon nan si da nganya kasi
ko
nyamo ko nyame nin do fana be fayla nyamo ko no wala nde ko opposition nyande comme example ku kilimbe Gambia GMC especially GMC from my party every time na kuje mansa kundala ma fana drong aka challenge GDC disem and UD fana disem UDP fana ko ku kilionke so muna kira mpati yolte manu la wonya na tarite lafta ka ke mansa kundati so nga tonya drong kai de wonya ka ngibula be do ko kelale
okay mbe kola tal sana mbe kola tal ni wonte bi nan normal bi nan normal hello caller caller
yes hello
alka moyle ba
hello
okay isa todi madu
ntomu fodi chorle
chor chor mbe nyopotila chori man reply mbe wanyar la dunia be kono sansa
no yedlale ma dami yalon ko jedal
chor bismillah
okay yo assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh
alkam go ahead chor diam Sure.
Yes, okay. Follow mbe panelist mbe control na bake. Na following sani bala ma kumbal min fulon la cholu. Like kabring yala posting say nga wole ke jenko the two sons will stand with Fadia. So woto robe kolare. Woto mbini wato tala pruka Sanneh kontong Ibrahim Sanneh bapulale ko assalamu alaikum nana bur ko te ganna APRC US Sprankla Chairperson Alhaji Gibril na kontong kontong Sénégal mbala programme flo kambake ni plateforme aussi par kasia abe ku jamale dilan nami ya lonko asem makoy no as Gambians so that na karang that is we learn. Anytime there is learning, there is bound to be change of attitude and behavior towards the nation's duty in all aspects, all institutions.
Thank you.
And in the way they conducted themselves. Be there, Gibril Fadia la doku mansia. He's only here as an educator or a referee. Control la pati nya ton ko ka fanya min ko APRC ndo futala state control betar la toro le betar la mbuluka toro fe futala stage to be I've listened to all of these people kamunta lako there is a blame game here ngamole jibe ndo min do yala pati fulale bidami yala ko wolu ko kuma fono la wala because all that coalition economy APRC and GDC any other political party that were involved in the coalition, we will all have to take the blame. Because it will be admit like the coalition will fail them. We all accept that. So I told us Gambians, what are the reasons we have failed? Because for the first time that we had a coalition of 7 political parties with an independent, and it didn't work. So sign We don't know information or information We want authentic information so that we leave the Gambian people to make a well-informed judgment in electing another leader. It could still be Adama Barrow. It can be somebody else. But Gambian But one thing left clear. We Africans, more especially Gambians, we want to be copycats. Because some are copying them from people. Coalition had been happening in places. We didn't look at our laws that, govern us, that bind us as a nation. Abemunu Sotnola will not as a coalition. Abe Sambala Nadil, because they still exist and will be existing on time. Ni coalition wa ya lonko. Ni kata po agrita. Iko nini sita tangi saba anyanta jilale. Andu luan man sowala. You to cover up Namanji. They didn't put any contingent plan, no plan B sort of. Plan already Gambian that is. After 3 years, election later. How about Namanji? So this is the problem. When I'm talking about coalition, political parties will be involved. We have to blame them. Let us not blame one political party or one leader and so on. We can still look at it in this perspective. We don't have those people, leadership qualities to manage something that they put in the Gambian, the Gambian quota. Adama Barrow doesn't have the leadership to be able to maintain those 7 political parties, independent, to forge ahead to complete the 5 years. The other political parties, because each political party has got a different policy and program, and the intention towards the coalition among Kilindi led us to where we are today. You will agree with Nico. After 2016 election, Mansakunda Ministry government of the day was not doing nothing. Politically, the carrying on. People are still politicking in order to come into power, including the incumbent and other political parties. What they are thinking today, they are not putting anything in place. Now, how to come into power. So, political man stop now for Banku Doko. Okay. That should have involved both the opposition and the government of the day.
Okay.
What we succeeded in doing is to put the 3 arms of government in place. They are not complementing each other's effort.
Okay.
That's one. The other thing is, instead of the government of the day, to build on the initiative of the former government, I will give you some few examples on that.
Okay.
For example, Modu le apola program. Gambian Muslim Kanilai, Gambian Olom. They had a garden there. Garden on Yalanko, Boholo Geocap provided. Gabriel Mantakunda Nata, you'll be condemned. The Gambian Muslim Bali to call of blood. Mole Fana the rest of the ruling, Project Colonial Jamelo Project will operating. They were Gambians employed by those projects and source of income for the family. You will be close. Gambian Dingle. You example is Daily Observer.
Yeah.
Daily Observer is close. More than 100 staff will be supporters Dokola. They did not build on those initiatives. It's only under okay, Jamila or APRC. No, the Gambian people are the ones who are suffering.
Okay.
So, we must try to find the best way forward. What information will provide them because in the election year, are we ready to bring back Adama Barrow? Not because the political parties can be there rather and stop the blame game. Baro Mandinko kukumo mune atina fonya. Wala atina. Iba kula dani ani iba kula nyami.
Okay.
Ani altulmi yalon kaltul journalist olti alka tibaro janja nyami alla interest bi nyari. Alka mun headline le diala. Wala tinna ni mol ka ko freedom le soto pour kadiamu. Freedom of speech, freedom of this, freedom is relative.
Okay. Thank you, Cho.
You have to know that
okay. Okay.
So to cut the long story short, coalition will pay political party will be responsible for coalition or failure.
All right.
The lack of the incompetence of the leadership of the government will find the situation.
Okay.
To forge ahead we must see to it that nana spend as one being content about it. UDP ma for 20 years corruption or ketajang. PDOIS ma for 20 years more far ketajang. But we are trying to find a way forward.
Forward. Thank you, bro.
Drogo la Carola. Sorry, very quick one already. Drogo la Carola. We are Afghanistan, we are crying. We said security reform. Again, security reform is not to come and fire a particular tribe or certain people out.
Okay.
The security reform is to build the capacity of the citizens to be able to give their services in the area of security. No one capacity support. They don't change attitude and behavior. Well, till now we have people who are corrupt, who are being bribed, because the Kajal members and the board are bribed.
Okay.
Some of them, they don't even know what they should do. All
right.
So,
Thank you.
For a nation to move forward,
Okay.
you have to build the capacity of the people who provide the services.
Thank you, Joe.
So last of the then Alaji Gibril mbajala ko bi atamu refari damal
all right. Okay, thank you, Joe. All right, thank you. Gibril.
Naam.
Gibril na brother diamuta yemne soto.
Yeah, that is true, Mr. Chori and for Diamula Balem, alhamdulillah. But this program is interesting. Akatanya Mimfana Betiate, ML Fati Fana Dunta, Yalo Wolwo Nyambo Patile Bebulo, Fisalta Jan.
It will tattoo your roller.
But it was
my God. Many hang up no. Kola sola limba too. Many hang up no fang.
You know, so at a bola political conobari, Abelala Tolle Candron, coming na agreement adron, and in my Fati Fana and Cambe Olekela.
Okay. Kexx ali man call for chigaro screen of father man ta ala tend to lend the mol be balla moy kang. We are grateful to have you guys. Kachabe diarin caller please nanang dunang todi madu. So we have 2 more calls. We're gonna cut it. Mimbe kom ila volume talang kam fam moye.
Yeah, I'm telling Adama Saidi.
Saidi can please do now.
Yeah, Adama Saidi.
Saidi. Do now.
Yeah.
Saidi Kemoel.
Abanyadi.
Ibe line auto do na yemne soto.
Yeah, left diamulo nung coming coalition or la kualela.
Okay, bismillah.
Comme coalition in a form Tanyami, Cabin coalition Lumine ya form.
Okay.
Gabriel in a coalition on Yatiata. Hello?
Go ahead. Diam.
Yeah, come coalition on Cabilum coalition on ya form, Gabriel in a coalition on Yintiata.
Mundalila Latine ofo, because it had a campaign for winter.
Yeah, it had a campaign for winter, but Niaji campaign. Come a successful per coalition on Yaji, Cabrilumina Lota Latinata. Dalilo le Bembulumini alonco Cafoco. Yeah, Dalilo Bembulumini alonco Cafoca Basenari.
What Dalilo Fonyan, because Mante Mutala line auto back. You got 1 minute, mid drop.
Okay. Niaji Lumina coalition Lota, Yanina Foco, Purum Moyer, Ibamentam Bindila, I resign la Patioto. Dunia Dawda and the Niaji was Sifan and Manka Dunia Kono.
Okay.
So Neo Sifa, yeah, Ning Patiomi Alonco Cafoco Awara, the Caprimba Sanjitanga Pinto Kumase Gambia Bandala. So no Finto Yinke, Nalone Coalition Yaka form Yami. So Coalition on Abba Formula Dawda and the Patiomi water. I'll call it Tambin the Empatin Duni Yalakang, ya support. Patiomi alonga barurina aliabo indi.
But you know for work it already because Adam Barrow botana atolela patito UDP.
Abodana patio kono nyao nyanding. Ngama resign that.
Yala no mo agreement or but still abe UDP manyalo.
Wala nang koyko kabrinje le coalition tinyata buka ke ya fo moyko resign la patio to. Yelo independent wala buka ke ngajela fale.
Okay.
Wala na coalition nyamanta nin to nyala. han bi wala na coalition nya pelta.
Okay.
Yeah, wala na
Okay,
coalition
so Kexx be jinkan na ya.
Amanta
Kexx be jinkan.
Amanta nin tilola. Ha?
Kexx fela be jinkan na mbe call do tala ya.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, afa jinkan.
Okay, Kexx sa jinkan. Katu ako sedi kanu ko hani.
Okay.
Hold on.
Ninkake argument bad in Gambia mo jama bala, but Gambia no nyaka understand the coalition sifa ka.
Hold on.
Banko mendo. Ika menso do ka hole ko second round of voting.
Ila mo be jinkan kan. Isa hango biam.
Okay.
Yeah, ila mo Kexx la Kexx be jinkan kan. Sa line on be le messed up tambul.
Okay, the mo nyaka understand le anon Gambia an ntaka mira ni idea ntaka bo Gambia.
Kola ite telephone landi sitano.
Hello. Nsidano Binto.
Sane teta.
Yeah. All right. So Gambia for the wala nyinde ko Gambia no nyanda kanyi mentality bonde bulde kafo ko Gambia must copy every time. We must be a copy. We must be and for people who come all copy all the time. Come all copy. Tell them find some ideas. Like we cannot make things made along another man can do that. That means until we must follow other people more than we must copy that to do it. Yeah. The whole idea of is to remove Jammeh. That was the whole idea. And we all believe that there was no single political party that could have removed Jammeh. And political parties will be the objective was to remove Jammeh. And if we have achieved that, then we have succeeded. So Momo Kapo it has failed because Amanta of Fonkola. They have to understand that they have what we call second round of voting. May have 51 plus of the vote, you must have it. Nemo so then party may force in second time, then party may add so that they can have that 51 plus. Woman Gambia constitution Gambia is forced to the poll. So they cannot compare that to the world. That was not in our constitution. Okay. Senegal because they went first round. So they cannot say that. They must understand their document that is governing them first to understand whether is that applicable in our country. But now with UDP, even they are the majority, could they remove Yahya Jammeh here? They could not. They have tried since 1996. They have started since 1986. They could not have removed it. And we all agree that there was no single political party. So this tactics, we did it and it works. Then that means that the tactics is good and world can copy this. And there are international committees that have uploaded the Gambia, the procedures that we have taken. They were proud of Gambia, how we were able to remove a dictator in this country without a single gun in this country. The world was proud of us. We were the darlings of the world. That is a credit to the Gambia. For the first time, we have invented something and it has been succeeded.
Especially in Africa.
And we should be proud of it. We should not demean ourselves to say that it has never happened in somewhere else. That's why we should not do it. That is a disgrace to a Gambian people to utter such statement.
Okay, thank you. Hello, caller.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Ibrahim Sanneh todi madum mbe 2 more calls le tala do mbe na wande molu bulala. Yeah.
Baraka baga man no like go mbe ko dandi man no bilay no ilo program o bo.
Todi madum.
Dalo man Kuyate Bakari
Go ahead.
Yeah, baraka baga man go mbe na sade kunna go flow ko donna je flow gay bi program be diay ne sade kunna go flow So Fadia kunna go le paride gay Gambia diatale I tell you for it.
Yes. Ala la kuala ndefa ndo timo fa man last name o mu last neti timo fa nyu ga ala la kuala ndora aketa timo wulu wala ti
let them keep it of man.
Mune koy tondi
de Kuyate Bakar Kuyate.
Okay, Kuyate dunnang sambi mbela molu bulala katu ngajala ko Fadia singolo lo sana la internet o kan
Dula do mbulle nyende no.
Hold on.
Sister. Because elabata ning call me elabata call do drop la jena but that call I think is trying to make sense like
hani man call drop man call drop yalla kachanyinte mo kilo bulala I stay too long.
Yeah, you are right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, momo timeless soto yete fana diamu fast fonse bula because ninkombe mo kilimbula la line o tamari da mase tarano line o we can do that purunse mo jamala opinion o moy.
Yes, nungo coalition o ndela miro do like nyaka ko is responsible for this na
Okay.
Mole
Okay.
So he's responsible for this. They na put that in jail because Alpha Madi come Ibrahim Alpha Madi, so we can be responsible for that, like a coalition only, like
okay,
because like interest like there's an interest because at like interest like just like coalition
okay, thank you. Okay, all right. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, caller. Caller, hold on. Sane te diamuna then nga last call ta doro ngalbula.
Broda keskada même fo ka foko UDP damante president Jammeh bayno la Gambia askeno to nyaati askeno ka do fa niaji be fana hanna tare mama ka kafta kwale sono manata vote counting manna 2016 de Jammeh jindi no.
Hold on, call.
Vote counting natar 2016 wo man totan hanni mama kan le kafta kwale sono mante Jammeh boyndi no rosi koy mobe ma ko ka foko na kafo da mante de nga fenne falinje me alon ko nimmo falinta boyndi nora because vote counting ni fayre da may kondige na monero koto so no man natar mama kan le nada akafta kwale sono ma nde winno law koy tam male set but vote counting nata wo fanan kanatu ko ma wala na wala kenni nga foda wala na ni baro ko vote counting ni abobon la benyande ni wala tableau ka fata kila because wala use kanindo bonni.
Okay, sport counting. Okay. Mbe kola kilintala kola.
Hello. Biringa kondije.
Okay, hold on. Sane diam.
Wo vote wala sport counting nganati runi bero fayre da may kondije.
Hold on.
Jammeh no manke no hanna tare mama kanne kapta coalition akira parti konontode nga parti do fana nyina akira tandi aperete mollan sabon bar wala wo silo men so ko nati wo pusta birin soxita woro dron den coalition ona dan kafta nyoma nga bonno no manginta bondi no la sembete molla fa so ka fa UDP ta Jammeh bondi no la na tare sport counting be keri mba bondi no la bar ko tu ke coalition le kafta ngake amanke UDP drone di so nda wala bar membije na tar wo mamboje ko itam mala kon ta bondi no.
Okay, Kexx Minnesota.
Yeah, sport counting came through the initiative of the coalition, the government go for Gambia Opposition Party for Reform. One initiative to forward it. So it is all the ideas of the coalition. So we are talking about the coalition. Those sport counting and those reform. We are the initiative of the coalition to make sure that and that has happened even before they were over Sanjonara in the Gambia here. I think it was 2006. It was all about the governing to reform all the electoral laws in this country. So it is the initiative of the coalition to push the incumbent leader. We go into sport counting. So there is a factor of the coalition. Without that majority. But for how many times have we taken that route? But we have never succeeded. We form it. We claim that a bigger party. We could not come to agreement. We tried that one for 2 times. Let us try this one, and we tried this one. We succeeded. What we want was a succeed to remove Jammeh, and that was been achieved.
No.
Okay. So alimba tumba kola kiline tala then ngana rapop nyinka cha minala kamala kotekala kana or minala kamala. All right, caller.
Yes, hello.
Caller Todi Mado. Lamin dunna Ibrahim Tinna.
Okay, la femme contribute la. Yeah, comme Garba Fogan Coalition 2016 Maliatinya. Okay, and the fact that Numole Ajiwe, la fa Mamfola Bafala Nyama Mele Coalition Otinya, the Bafala ko mo Patil Melbe participated in 2016 Italy Gambia Bay fail.
Okay.
Yeah, simply because if Mojamal Bije, they are putting a blame on UDP party as Italy main party, the Malayalam coalition Otinya. Yeah, but Nina in the aspect of parties and in coalition of form Tanyame. It's not only UDP, Mealoneko, it's a government Londi in the Gambia in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, because there are parties Malayalane joint taken.
Come coalition or partial be joined, so it man UDP, it okay UDP shouldn't be blamed. Partial be lenyante blame.
No.
Okay.
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay. Thank you, brother, for calling. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So Kexx. Kexx. Fadia.
Naam.
Fadia kola sorbe dunkan nambinal bulala kachalo meta malon fon Kexx wobe fon son kannoje nyaadi barkana jetenda singolo ala broda la internet o kanet. Hello kola. Kola.
Yes.
Kola be in todi madu.
Binto. Sambu.
Mbuke moy de ila voice le jam fata fo.
Ani?
Alkamoy.
Ndeba moy kan Victor Sambu.
Oh, Victor lam, okay.
Victor.
Oh, Uncle Victor, ibe line not.
Okay, yo, ala baraka bak.
Baraka.
Mela gesol be konton kan anin na chairman of on. Fadia fa konton kan kende. Ha nde ale topic le majang that OJ Jallow ko ya jame nyanda victim soul compensate land.
Hani ako janni abe fisiala la nga victim will compensate more than pour ka jamme prosecute.
Okay. Jumale ko mbe jamme prosecute la ate.
Hani
ama wofo because Gambian all dino ni sao jama dino ni sao they expect that ko ninja menate by prosecute la because ngamwele na former justice minister ko ninja me asingolo lo banko kan abe arrest la.
Okay.
So that's part of it.
Yalo womu ndefe womu kuma kesingol.
Okay.
Jamme man na follow yani ka fogo mbe jamme prosecute la.
Okay.
Ni ate ofo jani akafoko jani ba prosecute la isna as a more compensate wala fesiada more million father under OJ Jallow's government watch in 1981 hani a quarter mota fola under ya Jammeh's watch.
Okay.
Because ni ndol mu dinungole tenu ndol mu kebale tenu 1981 OJ Jallow found yenna brother fa ala bundato. Abdou Sambu. Anu Sandula mi foteje wala yindi ko OJ le order di. Abe o compensate ba.
Okay.
Today he's a victim. He wants compensation. Let him force compensate.
Okay.
On the PPP watch, thousands and thousands died. Thousands. You cannot count thousands in Jammeh's era. You cannot.
Okay.
A PPP let Senegal came Gambia dungol be fa la ka foko rebel under their watch. And he's talking about compensation.
Okay.
You platform one.
Okay.
Sometimes some other topics we have to be very careful the way we handle them.
Okay. Thank you.
One more thing. Sanneh, is it Ibrahim Sanneh?
Ibrahim.
UDP. UDP. Sanneh, one thing nam denga fenne jede. More diamuda asafo Usenu Dabo. More diamuda whether international or local. Usenu Dabo. Anu sural ko kunyep tufulinga toy.
Okay.
So you don't do hand for signing. You don't agree that Usenu Dabo have a problem. Sometimes when it's too much like that, you sit back and ask yourself, why? Locally, internationally, everybody Usenu Dabo. Let them check.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Last call. That's it. Hello? aka ularo tata ba kele mobe batata nan Jamal so.
Yes, it's more so. No, I had a network of now. I was struggling to call.
Yeah, UDP lam. I will try can we single internet or can. You are welcome.
Yes.
Yeah, mobe batata.
Thank you very much.
Kexx, you are even free to go.
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
We have
just all
Okay. Okay. All right.
Even the proprietor is getting fatigued,
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, on the issues is first, I will start from the coalition on the issue. And then own opinions towards the coalition problem on all of this, all inclusive. The coalition members will not together coalition on you form. In one way or the other, I may contribute a coalition on in failure to move on as a coalition. Because near politicians, whenever we come together, most of the times, every politician is looking in for the big picture. Along Sirambani, Mimbe, Santo Jedal. So for that being the case, it will be along. All of them, contribute.
So all of them are responsible for this.
All of them are responsible. Okay. Me. That's my own opinion. All of them are responsible.
Okay.
Because near the process for near GB, lapses in the process, they build up the coalitions and coming to certain agreements, Milketa, Miyalongo, Akita push and pull between the coalition members themselves. Signed issue, this other issue is not signed, this other issue was discussed, the other issue was not discussed. So it was all done, haphazardly, because the mission Mimbi, let's come together and get Gambia out, and then that mission will not succeed. But the aftermath, the problem between the coalition members themselves.
Okay.
So basically, for me, if I will point fingers, I'll point fingers to the entire coalition members, Milnara together, Purka coalition come, and then whatever happens after the formation and after Barrow winning the elections. All
right. Thank you, brother. Thank you. All right.
Yeah, I think
mbe kuntula mbe invite na kana worry. Ila internet o mankat.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right. Alimbe mbe kola solda na janne. Kexx, you can give a last word for now.
All right. Baraka back Binto and Nambul Lamolal be konto mele alonko yela time out almost 2 hours almost 3 hours
3 hours.
Yeah, 3 hours. Yela time out ke la mo la credit quota mo me forose mo kendo del dum hadama di ngolle so kumo fono jana me alonko nin kuma kendela wo mo alala de maro nin kuma jawle fana mo salonko mo hadama di ngolle mantimma bare hamoni na robe mo nyina de pronga Gambia kendo sodo Gambia me alonko si proud no la sa fon dingol fana ko Gambia men tu kula sike Gambia de mialon ko e si wulino dunia kono ya fako alhamdulillah nga Gambia kendo na alfali ol tun ko wala mun nakacha bedi man na jam pour ka keba jale wala ka keba doya il be mun ko kisanol be mun na alfa lete dum na bunya molle mudi fana no ko mara mo bunya nyen tele wala lon Gambia jam pour ka tin nga kuma fo jam mialon ko am kasimati o mun tela jondi yala de nga kuma kende fo fana o salon ko alala soro le wodi be Gambia nol tok tendo lambe de fana tento lambe jayla ambe Gibril Fadia ton tento lamba jayla kachanya fala diara ambe kachara janghas machot yongan bian sol Ibrahim fana mbade mbe konton na mbe jayla mbe tentula ila lamar kunyala ndiam ta kairo kono defana platform me ya create nga ala tentu dal ngani kacha ko pa rek Gambia bita nyaato nga kacha pour ka banko samba nyaato manke pour ka nyocala wala ka nyoti nya bot pour kol men keta rek nga kisi nga karanje nga move forward pour si Gambia kendo so wala mu kacha nyenti no wala fana ya wulindi ala baraka ba pour kan so do jang al domalen al dingolen al barendimolen dol doma dol kotoma kemetan sana wala Kexx.
Yes, thank you, Kexx. PDOIS in the building. Yes. Barela internet o emanyo so de yajele yekutila brother yesingo la internet o bye taba for some say bye alanga bye. Thank you. Love you, bro. Sane nana ila brother tada sai asgo utila internet o wala. Sane. Brother Fadia itafane dun Abidjan.
Siri gongo kati ele bukata mo ira de na network oti
yes to kon baria katale ila internet was not that bad ila kuma kan on sola tamit ne ofol
okay nga ngodo ngolo yalo kyo ya ko ka dero de ben internet do ko si kandu mala bu ka ba mano go anyway kontanda baake ka no ko mama kana ni platform do Binto do pedade ko kila baake nde nedu alkam
barely taman ko tega ba taman yela last word sol di ngana lu bulal ngal mutabake la go dos akai
network mako drong ongol jiri thank you so much for that broda ani la moyro la ning hakil mal melela wara ma fa telephone na duman nyum kan ani defana me programme ni ta pa la platform ala ma jir wala ni nyanda tenten na la ka politique be na tafo bidun tafo bula hakil mal bulu isa jibe non banku do ko timbe waji nganyo saba banno be botala one Gambia, one people, one nation so be duala fanan banko e kairola bro ongol Gibril Fadia yamirante de saba na ngena di UDP ninanyo mwela so Binto ninga tuto
aga hodole ko tasaliba di benyuaro
wallahi
all right, thank you Sanneh abaraka ngeten tungeja this is your first time baran contante la kuala nga ala tentu la kuala bake mbo mate na follow man kalabant Fadia is if I say the last remark di
yeah, thank you very much Kexx Sanneh Kemesen Sanneh ning Ibrahim Sanneh and me fanan tentu na ni mol men kala moy fanan and contributors fanan so first thing I want to clarify something wala mnyintiko in sport counting APRC le amanke ko coalition le that was under our government for and told the deputy fanane ya fai pour make sure ka for Gambia independent electoral commission so because Kabirin told Benala in power there was no independent electoral commission so everything is a process and that was part of the process so the credit goes to APRC not to any political party the other point Kexx meant for Kafoko, the coalition should be credited because dictatorship book a bondi without violence, without chaos. So Wakamoyit and the Walam Nintiko, then there was no dictatorship. So I can take it was a strong government, a person who cares about his people. Maya Lonko, he don't let any stone unturned. The trend of dictatorship always come with chaos. So the difference with the Gambia is the person was a different person. So he was not a dictator coming Molka for Nyame, but he was a strong leader. So after that, Mbe Tentulambe Jaila, and in this platform is very fruitful. And no fana the time extension and the more fana Mengbeka call, they cannot get in. A lot of people would like to have this kind of platform. Kabirim Benalajang. Everybody was saying, Kafoko, don't go there. Why? What is in you? I said, I'm a Gambian and Niatara, ye Patiol Bebola, ye more Bebola, they pick me. There is something that they want in me that I don't see it myself, you don't see it myself, but because it's all a platform, they could have taken one of them, but I appreciate it. And then at that point, it often I appreciate. So thank you for having me.
We appreciate you coming. Dolba foka nyala ko mko patifula sabanyango hey ndolo Gambia no this a trick and we can work together ngaitandi Gambia no tolla platform we are different ali ajele nal bina dun kan don no follow fo ngatara peace ngal welcome ngali yelo na kawye yala so mbuka cha hanan na gesola and mbuka cha hanan na viewers sol atolo min kanal ka wakela ali nana ngal tentu ngal je call sol ikela hajo bele tuje call you know, I can watch bring 1 minute for last minute. Then, Fadia, we cannot just say thank you enough. So, Gambian dindamal sinano se kuja makeno minketa kasika kachaka kuodolu bondi nyot. Nta topical be fenkalano. Andunia je biya lo meta left a mobe diamu. They cross over ila kumakaweta. So mbeten tulambeja ila. Kotoke kendeba. Akai muke ba timina dimal ni nge call doro no problem.
No
Thank you,
problem.
thank you,
inshallah.
thank
All right,
you.
thank you.
Allah barak. Alimbe mobe tentula mbali jaila lawmaker. The reason lawmaker because lafta kuma kango nyi momo nata jang ayala opinion or express mol sa understand no nse time dina marila. So I'll say fanye lawmaker bare di masi killing them. Ali nali chance please I'll share. Al kana nyina kan share. Nyimmange ko party A lem party B lem party C lem. Nyimu information or mi yalon ko Gambia no nyanta digest la wala ya tinna lafita ali nanang al nalaka kacha alin share ni information is too much pour nga amabo na fenko doronto ngal tentu ngal jayi atolo min ka lom fe dimaso ali alla hajo tuje ali nanang ngal tentu ngal jayi wo kola bake so lo wato meta mbita he Kexx Sanneh alama ale nijo ya kata internet o der malo ya kano nyadi ya kende malo soto Gambia wallahi aga ya kata minara mbe Ibrahim Sanneh konton tentula mba jayila nko aye banda ka fanyo ko ka fanyo munande ka fa Tiyaseneh Mandinko nko amaji ko bayde aya boyla ngeten ngeja imbading alama ale nijo wallahi Fadia ke ba timina di malamiti nko ni manke pati kuti science nyimunna bankola quality ngatolle soto Gambia ya tolle soto atol funding kel al assess atol Gambia la sita sungote nde topical be folano barali yalo nan ka kenyamen domandi ngal tentu ngal jayi ali hormol mi yitandi ngal tentu nimmi yalo ko telafta kana na platform ot alin inbox na timo be arrangements kala even don na schedule visit par na timo be arrangements kala laftal moylale you don't have to be only in a party pour yan to la platform ot no itenite ideal shot ite nana ngal tentu ngal jey ala fa la pati mol ye nana ye fin NPP al nana alla fenko Congress next weekend laftal moylal ala barak thank you Jali mbe ala baraka thank you GMC mfamata al sambalana baral sinana mbijang mbinal sambalanan ala fo siye ala fo moyo ko siye ala fo en sola telale na mbulata mol noma dolman time soto connection o ka dolu batandi bare nko al nanan jamwa tolle yati ala baraka ala ma suto e dia atol min be tamadula ala ma je al wati deportation o ala ma jam fala alla ngal kano ala baraka thank you ala baraka ala jete ala baraka manga dabo Ahmad Dabo Germany thank you abaraka Mendy Lamin James Crossman ala baraka Keta thank you